Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cachet, and you are watching Shay with the Hobbies. It is season 2, episode 3 of When Black Women Speaks.
Pew, pew, pew.
It's been like a month. We've had for y'all saw something last month, but technically we ain't had a conversation since January, low key.
Pew, pew, pew.
So quiet as it kept, y'all don't know that we had the question, y'all the conversation. Y'all saw second first. Haha. See how we get that? Hey, we be doing all the things. So glad for y'all to be here. I'm gonna let my lovely co-hosts introduce themselves. We're gonna say hi and then jump into tonight's conversation.
Go ahead, Britt.
Hi, I'm Britt. My channel is Britt Writerly. It's a book and author tube where I talk about the intersections of literature and culture, ABC 1, 2, 3, all that entails. If that sounds interesting to you, if you like numbers and letters, well, then you head on over and see if you do indeed like the vibe. Once you have confirmed that you like the vibe, you can hit that big red button and we can be internet friends. And if you really like the vibe, then you can ring that bell. Ring that bell. So you don't miss a single live or upload.
I just feel like Black people feel like you can Millie rock to anything, and it's just not true.
On any block. That's what the
No,
song
oh my
says.
gosh, no! I was like,
In the lyrics,
Millie
they're
rocking
telling you it's flexible. I'm just saying, follow
I can't even.
I don't know.
You a hater for that.
On to you, Bree. Yeah, just pass through the little.
Yeah. My name is Bree. My channel is Life with Tition. I talk about books for the most part. I read mostly POC, BIPOC. Yeah, that's me. Let's start.
Okay, all right, y'all. So, quick little warning: it's a storming here in Oklahoma, and I know it is like through Texas and whatnot too. So, if the internet start acting a little funny, act like you know, because I told you already. All right. Cat was like, damn, I'm gonna miss this one. Gonna have to catch the playback. Yes, you are, Sib. So glad you came. Venus said, hey. I'd be like, what is like, hey, Professor Ogilvy. That's what I feel like every time. Like, hey, little red lady. Ha, Shomla. I'm talking to everybody like this. Okay.
I gotta stop smiling.
You probably ain't smiled this much all day, so just let it happen. Literary lady said,
the fact that you know that is sad.
I'm just saying, literally said, I'm glad to be back here. I had so many wonderful changes. That's awesome. Wait, hold on. Okay, Mouse. I hope we talk about animated Black families too. Sure, if y'all drop them in the chat, I'm pretty sure some of us are gonna have some Black animated families when we talk about the questions we get to. Nicole, it's so good to see you. For those of you guys who don't know, Nicole and I have a collab for the second quarter of the year that I'm calling Quarter of the Classics. Your girl is reading Edgar Allan Poe and everything he read. And halfway through there, we're going to have a discussion about racism in classics, because I wouldn't be me if we did not, right? We're not going to just skate past any of that. So, be there or be square is really what it is. Emma Ray said, hey, love. So good to see you. Emma Ray is one of the lovely co-hosts of the Inheritance Trilogy Read Along. We are on the Kingdom of Gods. On Saturday, we will be having the live discussion. Y'all, it's the end of an era. Also, for those of you guys who don't know, Vina dropped a video. Let's talk about your friends or something. Yeah, your friends. Let's talk about your friends. All I'm saying, I feel like Britt said something about like these YA girls don't like each other, and I feel like that conversation was continued on Venus' channel that morning. So if you haven't catched it, go catch it. And Ray says, I'm gonna be cooking and listening as you should. Feed your belly. I appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Venus says, so happy to see y'all talking about Black family today. Of course, Aaron, it's so good to see you, y'all. Aaron had an interview on his channel today. Go check it out. Pat! You said what?
I've been a fake booktuber fan as of late.
Man, I watch stuff. I just ain't commented. So, that's why I be like, I see y'all. Your girl be forgetting the type stuff. That be the truth of it all.
Especially if I'm watching you on my TV.
Right,
You're
if
not
I'm on
getting a
my
comment
TV, I
from me.
definitely forget. Pat said, hello, queens and everybody.
Hello.
Is it okay? So is it Alice?
Ulysses. I say
Ulysses?
Ulysses. Yeah, I
Because
say
but
Ulysses.
it's Ace. So I don't know. Let me know. Also, your avatar is giving. Hey. I love it.
Ulysses, if I've been lying while you've been rocking with me this whole time, shame on me. Shame on me.
Innuel. For those of you guys who don't know, Innuel co-hosted a stream with me yesterday. This weekend was the Worldwide Write-a-thon, so it was a bunch of writing sprints across channels all over the world. Hope y'all got into it. The
I
playlist.
did temporarily.
I saw you, Alicia. Y'all, Alicia had a birthday. Just letting y'all know.
Happy
Adrian said,
birthday to
"What?
ya.
Let your soul glow through your smile, Bree." Hi, queens. Hi, everyone. I know. I'm so excited. Also, y'all, I'm definitely hot, so I totally understand why that fan came out. Totally understand.
I'm hot.
Pew, pew, pew is the best.
Pew, pew, pew.
D, oh my gosh, y'all! I
Hi,
love
D.
D Blair Gold. She's so awesome.
Dee's
I think I
giving us
mentioned that
black
chat too. I
excellence in
love
that
it.
photo.
I know, right? I just
What is
love
that
it. First
for?
of
It's
all, I was talking to somebody the other day. I was like, it took me forever to get the people was calling the pixie cut, what we call Halle Berry. My whole like generation, like, oh, you
yeah.
got the Halle Berry cut. Like nobody ever said pixie. I don't know when we
No,
changed it to that. And
no,
I don't say
no.
we because again, people I know still say the Halle Berry, but somebody decided
Yeah.
that the name was gonna
I
change.
just feel
Halle
like
Berry, Halle
Halle
Berry.
Berry, right?
I just feel like the Avatar is giving me love a black woman from infinity to infinity.
I love it.
It's given.
Also, remember when he got sued by her and they had to change it to Miss Berry,
Hey,
Miss
Miss
Berry, and
Berry.
they
Yep.
didn't say Halle
She
Berry?
said, "Don't start with me, sir."
That was hilarious.
Yes.
She
That
said,
was
"Don't even start with me. I ain't got the time."
right,
She said
man.
defamation on my character.
Right.
Hello.
You are. Oh, you're so welcome, Aaron. Bree said it right. It's Ali C's.
Okay.
Yeah, at least he's.
I like it. Okay.
So I've been saying it right this whole time.
It
In
was
my
all
mind,
that
I've
happened.
been.
I didn't say you were wrong. I
No,
said
no,
I
no.
didn't.
I didn't say you were wrong. In my mind, I had a little
Oh, okay.
voice being like, "You said it wrong, B."
Oh, okay.
But that
Gotcha.
wasn't the truth. So cool, cool, cool,
We're
cool,
gonna
cool,
be
cool.
flying tonight, Red Bull.
You
Oh,
you
Margaret,
see
it's
it,
so
huh?
good to
You
see
see,
you.
I got my caffeinated bubbly.
You're so welcome. All right, y'all. So, your girl got all the questions already ready. We're gonna talk and answer them, but feel free to drop your thoughts and answers in the chat. And if we see something, we gonna say something. What was that? Did you just pop a
Oh, I'm
It
tire?
so
wasn't me.
sorry. It was
I was like,
can
did
of
you pop a
air.
tire? What happened?
I'm
I heard
so
air.
sorry.
I
I'm
That's
heard.
sorry. I was like, wait, this my friend's Winnie, and I said Sharon is Karen. So I said screw, 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 screw
You couldn't
a
out your
little bit.
keyboard.
I did, but I should have
Yeah.
put it on mute. I didn't know y'all
Right.
heard me.
Yeah. Cause your microphone right there. It's okay. It's
I
I
okay.
feel
was like,
attacked and seen.
Mm, again, I was like, Papa tire? Papa tire?
Yeah,
Wait,
damn
like I
near.
was confused. I
I
It
wasn't
was
was
sure.
it
very
was
confused.
it was an elevated version of pew pew pew. If I'm being honest,
Elevated.
It
Okay.
was the
I
sound
see.
horn.
elevated.
It was a
Yeah,
churr. I see.
I see.
Britt.
I got you.
I got it.
All right, y'all. Question number 1. How do you view Black family and the gender roles within it?
Can I?
Anybody want to take it from the
I
top?
got
First,
it. I
tapping
got
Okay,
it.
in.
go ahead.
I don't always go first, but let it be me today. Uh, Let me step on my ministry. I hope y'all ready. To me, a black family consists of people who love you. That's it. They want your best interest at heart. They support you in your dreams, in your goals, in your aspirations. There's a collective help to it. A black family to me always consists of a grandma, a grandpa, parents, aunties, cousins, your mama cousins, who are your aunties, your mama, your daddy cousins, and friends, your neighbor, the lady at the corner store. All of them is why you are who you are because Miss Irma is forever have a spot in my heart, and she used to sell the ice cream cones with the frozen cup with the ice cream, like a scoop of ice cream on top, Lord, with a little fruit inside of the frozen cup. She would talk to me all the time. But
I
Miss
just want to
Irma,
say it sounded like you had the bougie candy lady because ours literally just put Kool-Aid in a paper cup and threw it in the freezer and charged us 75 cents.
no, listen,
We
that's
didn't
what
get no
she,
fruit and no ice
listen,
cream. I'm just saying,
listen,
I feel
listen.
gypped.
Miss Irma started off like that, but then she started to get her weight up. And you know what's the funny thing? Miss Irma's still living and doing the same shit for the hood.
I'm not gonna
Still
lie.
doing the same.
Like
I swear, I went to Miss
it's
Irma
one of
like
my
last year.
goals to be
I
the
went,
candy lady. Like it's one of my
listen,
goals as a grandma to be the candy lady that everybody want to come to my house and
listen,
get cavities. Like it's a goal.
listen. And I haven't seen Miss Irma in like 10 years. I walked up to her house. I said, Miss Irma, let me get a pickle and a frozen cup. She said, baby, I know you. I said, and I know you too.
Not a pickle and a frozen cup.
Pickle and a frozen cup, and she be having pig lip pickles, but that's a whole nother southern thing there. But I'm
Man,
just
we call them
saying that
icy.
there, listen, that too, we call them frozen cups, but I just feel like there's so
It
many
sounds more
people.
accurate. It definitely sounds more accurate.
Dang, she a hating on our frozen cup when we
No,
called.
I'm dead serious. Like we was trying to pretend it was like from 7-Eleven, the icy. I was really giving you a compliment. I need you to get it together, lady. I was really giving
I
you a compliment.
thought I thought you were being funny with a little joke.
No, yours was way more accurate.
Cause it is frozen, a frozen cup. That is true. That is true. That is true. Just like I think, side note, cold drink. I feel like it describes this, and people be like soda, pop. I'll be like, what? Cold drink. But anyway,
It's a
I
very
get it.
regional thing.
It is definitely a New Orleans thing.
Like I mean, like what you call soda, like people
It's a
like it's
cold
a
drink.
regional.
Yeah.
Right. I'm saying how people call caffeinated, like bubbly beverages, it's regional.
Oh, I didn't even hear you say that because your phone was kind of out a little bit.
Oh, I had been typing,
Ah,
man.
you were giving me further. But anyway, I say all this to say a black family consists of several people. Now, when we're talking about gender roles, in my black family growing up, like, uh, it was a little different because a lot of people came from two-parent households. I didn't. And so my mama did everything. And then when I lived with my daddy did everything. So I don't really know about the roles, but you know, that's who we are. Or my grandma was always there. A lot of part of my childhood, I was raised by her. So it just, I mean, black women tend to do everything, unfortunately. So that's that.
Yeah. So I mean, I agree. I mean, I don't want to say like black family is only this thing because we know everyone's everything is great and unfortunate in a myriad of ways. But the black families that I grew up around were typically um church like two like nuclear families. They were nuclear families, mom and dad, two kids, 2 to 4 kids, I'll say. My parents met all of their friends from because like they live in Arkansas now, but they had moved from Louisiana actually. They met each other in Georgia, yeah. So they moved to Louisiana because my dad went to LSU for um, grad school, and then they moved down to Arkansas because my dad was offered a teaching job at a career fair, and so they didn't know anybody in Arkansas, so they met all their friends at church, and so all the families that we hung out with, if we're any like significant amount of time, were from church. So yeah, usually there was mom and dad. I did have like the friends I had at school had um more diverse family makeups. A lot of the kids at school when I was in like elementary, like a lot of kids' parents were getting divorced. My best friend in middle school was raised in a single parent home by her mom, but that wasn't a black family. She was white. Um, so yeah, like most of the black families, actually all the black families that I was around when I was before high school were all nuclear. And then when I went to high school, then I saw more um, predominantly like single parent homes because I moved to a different high school. So yeah, that's gender roles. I'll speak for my own, like, gender roles, and I truly am blessed because, like, it wasn't my experience. Like, the family roles that I saw modeled to me were not that the woman does everything, even though I recognize that that's what we see as Black women, having to be superhuman, having to do everything, having to be mom and dad and all these different things. My mom was very much like, women are keeping the home and that is our job. And if you want to work outside the house, cool, but like, you also need to do this. So she did cook, but my dad also could cook. He made these daddy burgers that I loved. And as I got older, my parents started cooking together. They would, like, especially like on holidays, so like Christmas and Thanksgiving, they started making those meals together. And I just think that was a good experience for them, just like, not bonding, because my parents are best friends. They have been since I was a kid. But just, I got to see them doing things together where it was like, I knew they were best friends when I was a kid, but the older I got, the more I got to see them actually enjoying spending time together and being like, we made this stuffing for the first time, y'all come taste it, like that sort of thing. And also my dad, speaking of like the gender roles part, like my dad is the one who bakes, not my mom. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen her bake anything, actually. Like, she really let him have that. And also, he shops for her. I didn't know that till I was in high school, and I didn't believe it either. It was a Black Friday. They usually go together, but I think she was starting to develop arthritis, and she was like, I can't get out the bed today. And he was like, oh, I'll do it. And I was like, Dad, maybe we should just wait until mom is better, or maybe we should just not go. And he was like, I buy her clothes, right? I was like, I mean, no, like, I don't know that. I thought that you were swiping your card for her clothes. I didn't know that you were like picking them out. He was like, no,
Not swiper, no swiping.
I mean, that's what I thought. And then we went home and he got her all these things, and she loves everything. He buys her things she wouldn't pick out for herself, and she looks amazing in them. And I really felt deceived. And I immediately was just like, I was like, here's some money. Go forth and do also for me. I see what you'll do for my mother. Do also for your daughter. Thank you very much. And he did. And my closet has been blessed. It truly has, by my father.
I would be a lie if I say that my dad did not buy a lot of my clothes for me.
Out here.
Also, I do think my dad is way more clean than my mom. Not saying my mom is not clean. She is definitely a neat freak. But my dad is very particular. Like, your nails have to look a certain way, be sharped. You have to be bathed. Your clothes have to be ironed, have to be on you a little way. And he's big on baths. He is huge on baths. You better take that. You soak that ass is what he would say. So yeah, he's very big on those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so mine is also super different from the other two. So I had been raised by my grandmother since I was 9 months old. So I don't really know any other parent than her. I like can legitimately remember meeting my mother and like being introduced to her as like a person. So where I grew up, mostly everybody either came from like a two-parent home or a single parent home. Like everybody was raised by their mom, period. Like I was like the only person not raised by some parent in some form. Um and so that was like a big thing for me. That was the first like challenge to what family is supposed to be for me, because my entire life is different from everybody else's, and what TV says is a family and what my friends say are families and things like that. And so because it was my grandmother, there I really didn't learn like gender roles. I just learned like how to take care of myself, period. So like it was like you need to know stuff about cars, but you also need to know how to cook, like those type of things. And I know it was specifically a big deal for my grandmother because she didn't know how to cook when she was married. And my grandfather cooked the entire time that they were married. So the whole like 16 years that they were married. So she didn't have to learn how to cook till after she was divorced and she was in her 30s. So that became like a very big thing for her. So that like skews my gender roles of view. Like I view and have been raised that like everybody should be able to do everything for themselves. Now there may be things that other people are better at or know well, but everybody should be like substantial in these areas. And it wasn't until I was a semester away from graduating college that I was in a situation interning where I was the only Black person raised in a single parent home. Everybody around me came from a two-parent home. Now, some people might have been divorced and then their parents, but their parents remarried, so they were always raised with two parents type of deal. And so I remember like having the like legit thoughts and having to work through my own views of Blackness and anti-Blackness in that moment, because the way that they acted for me in that time and the way that I thought, which was still like very young, again, the things you think before, I was like, they don't act Black to me. Like they act like they're trying to be these white people that we're around. And that was when I began to realize, from an actual like getting to be around other Black people, like, because even in college up until this point, Black people I met, like still single parent homes, two parent homes, you know what I mean? So it wasn't just nobody came from a single parent home. And in that situation, that was my first like real life experience with Black people not being monolithic and understanding that just because they talk this way or act this way, and it would be because like they wouldn't stop code switching when it was just us. And so that's what it would like confuse me, because I'd be like, oh, you still talking like they here. It's just us. Like, just chill out. Like, da-da-da. But it was also like some people just are never taught any different. They never do any different. This is just what they do. And this is just who they are. But that wasn't something that I knew or had experienced at the time. So for me, Black family has always been varied. It has never been just the people that you directly come from. It has never just been the people with your blood, because it wasn't how I was raised. Like the people who looked out for us in my grandma's house weren't, you know, my aunts and uncles and my cousins. It was our neighbors. It was people that my grandmother had met and developed relationships with. So I like Britt was saying, I can't like give a Black family shit like this, look like this. I feel like Black families should feel like being seen despite differences is what I feel like when I think about Black family, because I don't think Black family means that you guys aren't going to disagree. I don't think Black family means that the elders don't have beliefs that they hold that they need to kind of transition from. Like, I don't think that, like, I don't think they're infallible, but I do think that like respect is paramount in Black families. I don't think it's optional. I think that's why when there's a Black mamas be like or whatever, we all collectively have the same experience. So I don't think that Black family looks a certain way, but I do think that Black family feels a certain way. Like I feel like there's a way that collectively we all felt growing up, not traumatic wise, but like growing up, like things that were just central to all of us, that we all had no matter what. That I feel like that's what Black family is to me. So that's my answer. We got a lot of people saying stuff, so let's get through here. KJ said, hey. Elizabeth joined us. Bree coming through. Right? I ain't never had ice cream and fruit in my IC. Or
listen, Miss Arma is the
I'm gonna be like, I see, because now we know better, right? I know that Kool-Aid ain't really that good, so right. I can do some like fruit in there and some purified water and stuff. Like I can be the better candy lady. Maybe I'll put some granola bars in there.
When I
Maybe
go
I
back
need
home,
a little something.
when I go back home this summer, I'm hitting up Miss Irma. Y'all
Oh,
better
I can't
realize.
wait to see it. I
I'm hitting up Miss
mean,
Irma.
I don't really call it's pop, but whatever. KJ said, "Wow, I wish I was able to experience something like that. The only times I did was when I visit my country cousins. First of all, I'm upset for your cousins. I feel like I don't know why you had to say my country cousins.
Right.
I just
I am
no.
the country cousin.
I put this video on my story, and it was a lady, and she was like, "Okay, no, I'm gonna go through the vocabulary of like how we say stuff in the South." And legitimately, only 2 things did I say differently from her, and I was like, "Okay, maybe I'm more country than I thought I was."
Yeah, the country cousin is me.
Sometimes friends become extended siblings. This is very, very true. Chloe popping in there. Chloe is also the host and creator of the Inheritance Trilogy Read Along. Her channel is the channel we will be on Saturday. Elise says it's pop, but to soothe the salty souls out there, I tend to say soda pop. Soda pop sound like 1950s. I literally say pop and look at you sideways. You try to correct me. Whatever. Literary lady said,
However,
whatever. Literary lady said,
whatever.
I believe that Bell Hooks was right in terms man-women relationships that should be approached with sensitivity and mutual respect. Definitely agree. Shumla says, from what I've seen with my friends, is that Black families are very close and look out for each other. This is very true. If I consider you family, we definitely very close and look out for each other. Chloe says, the cooking together sounds so cute. It does. Shumla says, like, there's a camaraderie I haven't seen in other races, ethnicities, at least in my experience. Literary lady says, my dad was particular about cleanliness. I know, right? Lucky personal shopper. Literary lady says, I knew some Black families who adopted their kids. Yep.
My family is one of them.
Right. KJ said, I see Black family as found family and bloodline. Yes, I agree. I was an adult. See, look at you. Move. You just turn my light off because you're doing stuff you ain't got no business. Go sit down. Yeah. I'm talking to you. Go sit down. Sorry, that's a Titan doing what he ain't got no business. As y'all know. Oh, so we just not gonna plug back in. Oh, okay. Well, let's figure this out. There we go. Sorry, y'all. Well, okay. Well, this light just gonna act finicky. I'm just be dark over here. Y'all just gonna have to deal with it. I was an adult when I learned many people weren't blood, but it didn't matter since they are family. Right. Nicole says, my best friend from grade school to the first 2 years of high school, we lost touch in middle school. But whenever I was over at her house, her dad was sitting in front of the TV. Mom was running the house, but he was a great dad. They love me like their own. Oh, Briss fans sound so cute. Yeah. Shay, did you feel you adopted an older mentality from being raised? Oh, yeah. And everybody who knows me would agree. Would nobody say I don't act like I'm like older than I am? So yeah.
She damn near 80.
You know what? Ain't nobody about to play with you, but yeah, totally. Like, yeah. Thank you, DJ.
Hey,
For those guys who don't know, Deidre and Bree are doing the Suki Stackhouse read along, and I feel like they got tomorrow. If I'm right, I feel like they got sprint tomorrow.
We are doing a sprint. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is our lot of cousins who are raised by their grandmothers or raised by their aunt. Right. KJ said,
all of my cousins were raised by my granny at some point. We all have that shared experience.
Yeah, no.
Whether it was a couple months,
really wish
couple
it had
years.
been like that, because I feel like the cousins that weren't raised by my grandma thought we had a better life because we were raised by the grandma, because of what media makes you think grandparents are like supposed to be. And like, bruh, first of all, we could have never lived the life y'all lived. Like,
listen,
y'all, woo, they was doing some stuff. I was like, my grandma would have beat fire from all of us. Like,
all of us. And my grandma was always trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. She the reason why I still sew the holes in my socks.
Man,
she was like, I'm not buying no more socks for you.
About that money, it's me. If anybody good about that money, it's me. And it wasn't because she was good, baby. The way I saw her play that overdraft, I was like, Lord, it'll never be me. Your girl ain't never put overdraft on any account. If I don't got it, I don't got it. It can't decline, I'll walk my tail out. I'm not gonna be embarrassed. I ain't got it. Let me keep going. Then
Not you
I get a
walking
check
your
and
tail out.
$300 ain't in there. I'm just saying. $300 and then it ain't it, your check already gone before you get it. It's not no way to live. It's not no way to live.
Not
No
you walking
shade
your
to
tail,
anybody. You know,
Grandma.
some of us had to live through it. Some of us got to walk through it. Fortunately, I saw grandma and I was like, I ain't gonna be like that.
Listen, I walked through it several times as an adult. Ain't no shame in my game, but I'm better now.
Right?
I'm better
Man, that's
now,
why
but
you want overdraft protection though. I know you need it because you know it'll help your bonus at this bank, but baby, no.
For those of you wondering what I am snacking on, it's a pistachio brittle Greek yogurt bar from Yasso.
she always has one of those things every time
This
we go
is the
live.
first time, actually, I found this while I was looking for my usual strawberry cream bars, but they was out because some con men, took all of my dairy bars.
And walked away with all of your stuff.
All of my stuff because there was a sale 2 for 7. I said it could have been me. All that was left was the lime. Nobody wants lime. There was like 15 lime. So I had to walk around and find a healthy option.
I love it.
No.
KJ said, as far as gender roles go, we mainly have two parent homes, hardworking men, super Christian conservative, and the traditional roles. Although it was different since my grandma was the first Black professional chef in her city. I'll also say that. So my ideals on like the workplace and working are super different because I was raised by an entrepreneur. So like my grandmother didn't get a job where she had to answer to somebody until I was like 14. So like my concept of like bosses, and that's why I've always been like, I can walk away from this job. You really not gonna talk to me any kind of way. Because I was like raised by somebody who was like, I can make something out of nothing, baby. So I think that also is a big thing on the gender roles too for me. I literally
It sounds like that TikTok that goes around when people be like, "Man, f that job." That's what it sounds like.
yeah, nah, grandma was definitely not staying nowhere. Nope. The
It be
youngest
like
cousins
that.
I have been raised by our grandparents. Got you. It is definitely a standard to respect your elders. That is true. Alicia said, that's an amazing way to explain it. Thank you. Larry Lady says, I have an uncle who my mom views as her brother. My dad had that feeling too with cousins. Very true. That's my big brother. Good points. Thank you. Pat says, it is a community that helps to raise a family. They see and help out. Is definitely a community. I totally agree with that. Shoma says, I've definitely seen some similarities between Black families and South Asian families. I can believe that. Venus says, oh, I live in a Latinx neighborhood. My icy lady is Dominican. I love it. I be forgetting that this is a woodwick candle. So like remembering that it's a like a firecrackle going right here. I keep like looking down. That's why. KJ says they like and embrace being called country. They go to the Black rodeo, ride horses. You can walk everywhere. I love small towns as a getaway. No, that's totally Oklahoma. But also like I be feeling some type of way because like y'all know Paul is from New York, so he called me country all the time. So I feel some type of way about it. And if I say
Yeah.
something like if I say water, he'd be like, "What's your country at?" Like, bruh, it's water though. I don't like
Not
man,
water though.
Jennifer, it is water though. I'm just
You
saying.
ain't lying though.
I'm not. Shoma said sometimes I look at white families and be like, I can't relate, especially when it comes to parents and their kids. I have never seen a white family relationship, parent and child, that I could ever relate to in life. Like never, ever, ever. Like even when I got to the point where my grandmother was my best friend, still nowhere close to what people will like when my white friends would say their mom was their best friend, relationship was not the same. Our definitions of best friends was very different. Very, very different. So I'll definitely agree with that, Shoma. Venus says that I have an auntie who's actually a cousin of a cousin, but she and my dad grew up in the same household. Very true. We love Whitley. We love Whitley. I have some great news I want to share with y'all. Definitely drop it.
I
Someone said,
literally didn't even notice you were talking
money
about me. I
back.
was dancing to my popsicle.
Yeah, we know.
Or actually, my Greek yogurt frozen bar, whatever it's called.
Hey, Latrice.
Hi.
Okay, so we got to the end of them. Question number two. Yeah, this is the right question. I was like, wait, is that the right question? That is the right question. Okay. How do you think media representations of Black family have changed from the 80s to now? I'm going to go first this time. Oh, no, you had it. Go ahead. Go ahead. You had it. Go ahead. No, because I don't want you to get started eating your ice cream and then don't want to talk. So go ahead.
That will happen. I'm considering a second one. But I think probably just that not just, but all I can say, because Shay is the old soul out of the three of us. Probably like the representation in that, like the nuclear. Yay!
I love it.
Congratulations.
That's so
INDEE. I was already getting
I
the double
love
E, but
it. I love
getting,
it.
however you spell that word, I was getting.
She got all
excellent. 2 jobs. Work hard. She a bad bra. Sit down. Come on.
I love you.
Congratulations. Yeah, the biggest difference that I can see is being less committed to a nuclear family model. So in the 80s, it was like a matter of course, as opposed to now where it's like, it really could be anything. It could be a nuclear family. It could also be a single mother. It could also be a single father. It could also be in a group home with like found family. Like, it could really be a number of things now. It's less strict on making sure that you're representing the most socially acceptable family or the best family or the most conventional family. I think that respectability definitely has something to do with that, being less convinced that the way that you represent something on TV has some part of raising the race. We're not even getting into that argument about whether or not that's true, because I think there's grounds for both sides of that argument. But I think with that being less of a push behind the representation, now it's just like, well, let's represent what's really out there, as opposed to let's represent the best, which is gonna be the middle class Black family. That's it. I'm going back to my popsicle.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You got it.
No, go ahead. You were already trying to go first.
Go ahead. You go ahead. Go ahead. You got it.
I feel like Black families represented in media in the 80s was about like struggling and really focused on how being seen as like that struggle of being Black in America. I feel like a lot of times media in the 80s introduced like drugs and anything stereotypically they could really think of to depict Black families. Although there was a family unit, I felt like it wasn't always in the most positive light. I feel like Black joy was not really like the star point of the media at that time. It was like how many struggles you can go through and like talking about those things, which a lot of those things were very real for a lot of families, but I felt like, was that the only thing that they wanted to talk about? Versus now, those things still get talked about. It's more of us talking about the cultural aspects of Blackness. I see Black joy being portrayed a bit more and differently now. I don't know. I think we're moving more away from those like blatant in your face stereotypes to how people want to see Black families now. And I'm looking at maybe Blackish as being one of those TV shows. The Proud Families, one of those shows. I'm trying to think of other shows I'm thinking about. I can't think right now because I just can't. But yeah, I'm seeing a shift on how we being depicted from the 80s until now. And I think for the most part, it's good that I like seeing, things that I like seeing, but there are still some things I'm like,
So I feel almost the exact opposite of you, Bree.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like now Black family shows are made for the white gays. I don't feel like they're made for us. I feel like the Black shows that we had in the late 80s and early 90s, because they were written by Black writers and they were like fought for by Black writers and Black producers and Black directors, I feel like those were. And for me, when I'm talking about the Cosby Show. Uh I'm talking about Family Matters. I'm talking about Moesha. I'm talking about My Cousin Skeeter. I'm talking about the Proud Family. I'm talking about those. I feel like,
Good
uh,
times.
huh?
Good times.
Good
Good
Times, I
times.
think,
I
was
feel like
before the 80s, was it? I
It
don't
was
know.
it
I
was
wasn't born.
74 or something like that. Yeah.
I
I
wasn't
was
born.
like the late 70s or 80s. I feel like, bye Nicole. Have a good night. I feel like now, I feel like so. I feel like there is definitely a reason, like you guys were saying about the nuclear family and the two-parent household. I don't feel like it was totally respectability. I feel like part of it was fighting the narrative that there were not Black families, like there weren't Black men in the home, that Black people didn't want to get married, that Black fathers were always leaving their kids. I think that was what was going on in that time. And now I do agree. I do like that there are diversity in the type of parenting and things going on, because growing up, I did not see a lot of people being raised by grandparents in movies and TV shows. So I did feel left out in that aspect. But I feel like I feel like those movies or those shows like Fresh Prince, I feel like the way they talked about race, the way they handled those situations that came up, I feel like the way that they wrote the characters and the way the families acted, it wasn't a caricature. It wasn't to be funny, or it wasn't like Blackness is funny. It was just we're funny. And I think that we don't have that as much now. Is my view. And so I honestly don't watch like anything Black family that's created right now. If I'm being honest,
Yeah.
like almost everything that I have tried to watch rubs me wrong in some way. Specifically
Yeah.
anything Kenya Barris puts his hand on. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
You said the Barris?
Kenya Barris, the blackish, grownish, black AF on
Oh,
Netflix.
okay. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, I'm not just thinking about TV shows. I probably should have said that. I'm thinking about movies as well. And I'm not thinking about their names, but I just remember being like, is this it? Like, it's like as a kid, just being like, is this it? So now I feel like there are more opportunities and there's being I mean, I still watch black stuff to this day, online, whether it's movies or TV shows, and even like no shade to Tyler Perry, but I just be like, do a black woman have to struggle in like every one of your movies almost like? So that's is what I'm saying. Like I feel like now
Yeah, no,
I'm
I
saying like
totally get that. Yeah,
like
no, I
now I feel
totally get
like we're expanding a bit, and I didn't say like there was never any positive. Uh,
I wasn't
uh,
saying that either. I'm
oh no,
sorry
no,
if
no, not you. I was just you weren't saying that at all, but somebody was saying the Cosby Show. I think Venus said that, I'm just wanting to apologize if you thought that I was saying there was no positive stuff because I like the Cosby Show and Sister Sister. That was really my thing, but still, yeah,
right, because that's like sister. Like there were shows that were for us that we weren't like you weren't spending a lot of time navigating whiteness. Like you weren't like that wasn't what it was. You weren't like you didn't
yeah,
have to educate anybody on anything because you just did. You just lived like we just do and we just live. And that's what like
right.
one of the worst times in television to me for Black people was when we lost UPN and it became CW. We had the
Yeah, I was.
Eagles, we had All of
Yeah,
Us, we had so many solely
yeah.
completely black shows. It showed black families working through divorce and co-parenting. It showed people going through fertility issues. Like one of the greatest scenes or episodes of Moesha is the one where you find out this boy who they've been thinking is their cousin Dorian is actually his son from when he cheated
Yeah,
on their mom that his
yeah,
wife Veep never even knew about. Like
yeah.
there's
And
so
even in Fresh Prince with Will Smith and his dad, and
right.
Uncle coming
One of
through.
the most iconic scenes ever.
Iconic.
Yeah, even to
Yeah.
Will, like he has spoken
Right.
about that scene as like him and he was like he felt like Uncle Phil didn't think that he could act before him, and when they did
Yeah.
that, he was like, "That is acting," and I was like, "That just makes it all more sweeter for me."
But
Yeah.
the truth was the boy couldn't act. Low key, the number one reason why the character's name became Will Smith is because he couldn't remember the character's name. Like when they would
Really,
do the lines, they
he's
changed
come
the
so far.
character's name to Will Smith. He's come so far. So
He's
far.
come so
Like he
far.
Yeah,
could
I
he
like
learned
really
so
he
many
really
things about him
came
on that show.
he really
Like,
came far, yeah.
right.
yeah,
Me too. Learned so much from the
Yeah.
DVDs. Or in season 1, in the episode where they get pulled over and are put in jail. And
Mm-hmm.
Carlton is like, well, we were driving slow on a road. Like, I would have pulled us over. And Uncle Phil has to say, I asked myself that same question when I got stopped.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah, I
mean, living single, I guess it's good to point out that the shows like created by black folks at those times are iconic. You know, like I love living single. Maxine will forever sit in my heart until I die. I don't
Maxine!
care what
Wow!
no one says, how they feel
Right!
about it.
Literally what you
Even
call background living, like
Man,
Max.
even the different world, when he said,
Right!
you will never talk to me like that because if you do, I will drop you like a bad habit, woman. And I just feel like
Man!
that scene
Man.
was giving. So I
Yes,
mean,
Kim,
yeah,
man,
Kim was
when we
Kimberly,
amazing.
play the
I
tape,
love Patty Bell. Love her some Kimberly. She loved
yeah,
her. Dwayne Wade, Mama loved
yeah,
her some Kimberly. She all
yeah,
he engaged to somebody else, man. Why are you bringing up Kimberly?
yeah, yeah. But I felt there were some critiques I had with the Marlon Wayne show, even though I did find it funny. But
My wife and
just
kids.
certain things.
Marlon Wayans didn't do My Wife
No,
and Kids. What you talking about?
no, it was
What
their
show?
show, and there was like it was the
And
brothers. They
living.
were
The Wayans
like
brothers?
the Wayne brothers. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I remember
I
having
feel
some
like most
critiques about it,
critiques
but I can't remember
from
what
that
it
kind of
was.
stuff is more critiques on comedy in general at that time. I feel like
Yeah, I
like
can't remember what my critiques was. I just remember feeling some type of
I
way.
legit,
I'm gonna be honest.
I loved it because it again was super duper black and they super duper dumb stuff, and there's still like the respect for your elders and don't talk to your elder no side talk. Like there's just so many things that are central to black family that we do that I love that all of these shows show examples of. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Or what we got in the chat? I see faces looking some type of way.
I'm just like, what's going on?
What's
Who
going on?
mine?
No, I'm just.
I
Is
don't know
someone
what's going on.
trolling?
I will get to it.
Okay.
Okay, so Venus says I do be noticing.
I just. Oh, sorry.
You got it, whatever it was.
No, I wanted to say something. Like I was wanting to get back to your point earlier when you were talking about a disservice in these shows.
Mm.
I like Blackish. I did. I'm sad to say I did stop watching after season 2 because I'm a comfort show watcher. So whatever I've already finished and I loved, I'm gonna keep watching that. I'm sorry. That's just how I am. But I was really sad when they had to explain what a head nod was, and I was like, that should have been gatekeeped. But that did. So I'm saying that certain things don't need to be explained. I hope that made sense. I'm taking it back. Go ahead.
No, I mean, because again, it wasn't explained in the shows I watched growing up, so it just was. It just happened. We just are.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
Venus says I do be noticing how the black family be absent from YA. I'm not talking about the mom and the dad both be MIA. Yeah, right. True. TV loves to only represent the middle class black family lately. Totally agree. Because we were 80s though, and they weren't struggling, right?
Because it's two extremes. It's like poverty or middle class.
Right.
Nothing in between.
And I feel like that's why I know that's why he made the Cosby Show, was because there weren't like, it wasn't a bunch of positive stuff right then. It really wasn't. And it was like you couldn't have two educated parents and they couldn't be in these dominant fields. So like I totally get why he did it. And I love, that's part of the reason why I love Family Matters so much, because they were not the same. Like it wasn't. They were like a blue collar family. You know what I mean? Like it was a different situation. Also, I would shout out that I loved Family Matters and Moesha because predominantly dark skinned cast.
I also will say that I watched Moesha and vaguely remember Family Matters.
Larry Lady says, plus the 80s was focused on lessons than just living. Take Family Matters. Blackish brought it back, except with white folks. I can't stand his show at all. What do you think about the colorism, featureism, and black families in the media? I feel like it's way worse now than it was in the shows that we had. I feel like it was like, and I feel like we still talked about that. Like I remember even like the fat phobia episodes of Moesha and of the Parkers that happened, and like that stuff. Like I remember like it being addressed. And so I remember like it wasn't, curl patterns wasn't a conversation during those shows. Like we didn't have that. And so that's why I say for me, I'm not feeling, I would prefer that my kids grew up on the shows that I did. I don't know how I feel about the ones they got now, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah.
Right. They got rid of UPN. UPN, no more.
Why don't I remember UPN? God damn it, my memory.
That's where all the black shows came on if you didn't have cable. Moesha, the Parkers, Girlfriends, All of Us, the Hughleys, Parenthood.
Oh, I forgot about the Hughleys and
Parenthood. One of my favorite shows. Love me some Robert Townsend.
Let's be real. Not maybe. I watched those shows, but maybe I just didn't like think and keep in my mind the name of the network. You know what I mean?
In the House with LL Cool J, bro, when they was living with their uncle. Y'all, come on.
That's not one I watched.
Man, loved In the House. Man.
Clearly, I am not fit for this conversation.
My brother and me, Gullah Gullah Island, bro.
I do remember that.
Put your foot in your hand. That means hurry up. Don't miss the good things. Yeah, okay. I was about to say, y'all don't know this song?
I don't. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Thanks. Britt, we need to head out.
Wow.
Listen, when we come a little bit further forward, listen, I knew that Shay could have this conversation. She was like, I don't think I can. I was like, okay.
No. I didn't think I could have the conversation about new stuff. I can't talk about like new stuff in a positive way.
Me and Bree got that. In the meantime,
right, that's what I was saying. Like,
and thereby I'll be covered. Amen.
Right. That's what I was saying. I was like that.
I mean, and to also be honest, there are real reasons why I don't know these shows.
Right. KJ says, I want to see families that have love and fun, go through things, but still live life. Like on Survivor's Remorse, had a nice black husband and a wife played by Ronrico Lee and Tiana Parrish. Let's Stay Together, when Ronrico Lee was on that, Let's Stay Together, that was my show. I loved it. Hate the colorism that BET does so much with their shows, so that's usually why I stopped watching them. But I did love that show.
Do we think it's because BET is not black owned?
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, ain't nothing like Good Times, and that was before all our times. Really,
it was like 1974, I think.
Yeah, no, that definitely was before our times, because I've only seen like occasional rerun episodes. Like I've never watched a full season. Although Burnham and Book are not married on Star Trek Discovery, I love them as a couple. The love and vulnerability.
See, that is a couple I can stand all the way behind. I'm like, right here, because Burnham and Book. Woo! I love to see it.
I stopped watching Blackish because I got tired of Dre teaching white folks respectability politics. Yeah, right. Not that blackness is funny; it's that we're funny, like the difference.
Blackish got old for me real quick, and
real quick. And I like honestly, I had a distaste in my mouth with the title. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I knew it
Wait,
wasn't for
what y'all
us with
talking
a
about?
title like Blackish.
Yeah.
How are you Blackish? You either black or you not. Like,
I
I didn't like
think
the
that
title.
it had to be. I think it had to be Blackish to fall into respectability politics and make
Oh,
people
for
think
sure.
this
For
show is
sure.
not just for black folks. It's for black. It's for everyone.
Right. Right. And
Because let me tell you,
I feel
living
like that's the
single
other
was not
part.
that.
That's the other part that I feel like I don't like. The Cosby Show wasn't like you everybody related to it. They didn't have to change nothing. They didn't have to make it something that it wasn't so that you could feel like you could relate to it. Either you can or you can't. And like, why should that be our problem? Why
Right.
should we change our shows because you can't relate to it? I can't relate to half the Italian mob stuff y'all be showing, but people be watching it.
Right.
I'm just saying.
You know you ain't about that life, but you eat it up.
What do y'all think about the
I
resurgence?
can't relate to Rizzoli and Owls, but I always watch it.
Man, love me some Rizzoli.
Listen, I'm not gonna hold you. I watch Rizzoli and Isles,
I
even
love
though
me some
that
Rizzoli
when they
and
got this
Isles.
really like raspy voice thing going on, I'll watch it.
Love
I
it.
do love it.
What do y'all think about the resurgence of mob and gangster shows coming up now? To me, I believe it mirrors the blaxploitation films. Could you give me references?
Yeah, I need
Big
examples.
I
I need.
need examples. I'm not
I was
gonna-
like, they're coming up. I was
Right.
lost on that.
Like, are we talking about the Criminal Minds? No, I can't remember.
Okay, woo,
Red.
I ain't got no tea, but if I did, it would be hot. All I'm gonna say is I personally feel like some people be
I'm
using queerness as a hill to die on, like you still don't have to deal with racism in these relationships. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't.
there. Just let me think on that.
Because honestly, until I got to YouTube, all the black queer people I knew were in relationships with other black people. I got to YouTube when I started to meet black queer people in interracial relationships. I didn't realize it was that prevalent of a thing. So it definitely it's like
For me, I wouldn't say I don't know a lot of people except white people. Okay, hold on, let me re-say it. I don't know a lot of BIPOC who are in relationships with a person of their culture in my real life. Other
okay.
than other, and I can't even say other than my family, because almost every one of my first cousins, the boys or the men, are in relationship with non-black women, even my nephews. So
Yeah.
that has been a real big change. And the thing is, usually I don't give a fuck. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean to curse. I don't care, usually. But lately I've been seeing conversations of like, oh, black women don't like me, or black women are this, and black women are that. So now I've been like vocally venomous with this tongue. But it's just different, like because when I grew up, my uncles dated black women, my
Right.
father black women, my uncle's cousins black women. Not saying you have to date black women. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
What I'm
Not at
saying is
all.
I'm clearly seeing a change in how we move, and it's not been we talk about my family, my friends, how we move, and it's not been because you're dating this non-black person because you're like, hey, you vibe, I vibe, we vibe. It is an opposition of a black woman, which I don't like.
I don't get that.
I
It
hope
feels
that made
weird.
sense. I'm not I'm
No,
not I'm not
completely
taking
get
a
it. Right.
pee on
Right.
nobody's
No,
stuff. I'm
for
just
sure.
saying
Because like
that.
I remember even in college, like having conversations with like girls who would like, why don't da, 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 da. Like, girl, let me be perfectly honest with you. I don't feel no type of way about you. The truth of the matter is I know that you allow stuff that we don't allow. You are easier to deal with. So that is why you were chosen. That's it. Like that's it. Period. So I don't that's it for me. I don't have anything else to give you. I don't feel no type of way about you because it's not anything about me, it's easier for him to do whatever he wants to do. You can have that, sweetheart. Like, I'm not ever fighting with any Caucasian, Hispanic, Latinx, Asian. I'm not fighting with any woman over no black man. I'm not. If that black man wants you, honey, go forth and prosper.
Not
Be well,
prosper.
do well. Leave my black self and all adjoining adjacent black women out of that.
Yeah.
I don't get a black man and be like, oh, I hope white women see this. Like, I don't think about y'all. It's weird to me. It's
you know
weird.
what's interesting?
I do. Oh,
Just a little aside. I'm going to a talk on Wednesday, given by Tara Hunter, whose work has been on like at the intersection of like gender and punishment. And so she, I think her first book is called "To Join My Freedom." Is talking about like the making of Jim Crow, gender and punishment. But she's giving a lecture on Wednesday, and my advisor was like, "Be there so I can introduce you to her." And I was like, "I don't want to." But when I saw her lecture topic, I was like, "I'll be in the front seat." Her lecture topic is marriage the answer? Concerns about marriage and racial inequality from W.E.B. Du Bois to our own times. And I'm just like, let's talk about it. Are we trying to cite all these interracial relationships, marriages, mixed race children coming from these relationships as proof of us being in a post-racial society? I fully
because I don't know how you can when slavery was full of mixed race children. All it means is that you like black vaginas and penises. I'm sorry. That's it for me. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't. It does not mean that we're in a post-racial society. Like, no. That can't be it.
Yeah, and it's just I just think like when it comes to black people dating interracial, it's just an interesting thing to see and watch, because it's not everyone who are moving like this. You know what I mean? Even in my life, everyone is not moving like this. But I've seen, certain people in my family, in my friend groups, just like move this way. And I'm just like, what's the point of dating someone who is non-black to be in opposition of a black woman, and then say it loudly, like fully with your chest? And then expect a black woman, and then not expect a black woman to be upset. And then once a black woman express their anger, like their white counterparts do all the time, then it's a problem.
What I'm talking about. Y'all stole this. Y'all stole that.
And I'm like, can you just keep me out of your relationship?
Why y'all blacker than us? No, not when he say I'm blacker because I'll go like this and I'll get to the so that's why I got a problem with you. But when you do it, it's not what it is when I do. It's a lot to unpack there.
I just feel like why do we always gotta be a part of that? Why do we black women gotta be? Leave us on, like I was saying, like
on what KJ was saying on the queerness side, it's like y'all, I feel like, and this is just my belief, y'all know I'm a conspiracy theorist and I don't think anything positive about anything we have in America. So there's that. I think it is a genuine push to be like, well, you're black, but you're queer, and I accept your queerness, so you can trust me over these black people because they don't accept your queerness. When in fact, like, all black people are not homophobic. All black people are not transphobic. Like, we've been going to school and living with and being related to and having friendships with black people of all queer spectrums for quite a while now. Like, that's not what that is. So like when
that always tend
go ahead.
Sorry. That tends go ahead. Yeah. No, sorry. Go ahead. I just feel
like it's always like a way to push, like I'm gonna see how I can say this properly.
Not properly. Speak your truth on Beyonce's internet.
I have a sour taste in my mouth about intersectionality when it comes to Caucasians. I do not like the conversations that happen when intersectionality and Caucasians come into play, because then you open the door for them to be like, I'm oppressed too. And I'm like, you're still white, operating in a system of whiteness that outside of your intersectionality, you're still going to be treated above what I am, regardless of if you're a woman, regardless if you're gay, solely because you're Caucasian.
Yeah, I think this is damn it, Shay, stop saying good points because I should have wrote shit down. But I think this is a good discussion to talk about because I find a lot, especially in the white um, cis gay men that I meet, that they tend to want to operate with me in a certain way that's just pretty much offensive, like in every way of the world. Like I've had people wanted to like touch my ass, touch my hair, hey girl, trying to sound like they think a stereotypical black woman would be, calling me the N word and thinking that it's okay because they're queer, and then because they are also oppressed as queer people, that they have the right to be disrespectful openly like that with me, which makes it hard for me to be in spaces with cis gay white men, because I feel like they're thinking just because that they're queer. Typically, not every queer cis gay man think that, but it tends to be that, like, oh, I'm queer, honey, I'm queer, I know, like I can. And it's like, no,
Right,
you don't know,
right,
you're not
right.
existing as a black woman, really. I feel like the only people that
Jane
really understand
Campion,
me,
Jane Campion this last week.
yeah, yeah, it's just
What
like
did Venus and Serena have to do with what you were saying? Nothing.
nothing. I mean, I only
Like,
saw part of that, so I don't really know what's going on fully, but it's just like one of those things of just like, I feel like the only people that can understand my struggle are black women X. Like, hey, that's on period. So when I am in those, and I've been in those spaces a lot, but now I've like removed myself from those spaces because man, it can be toxic,
Yeah.
and be like hard to exist. So I definitely agree with that.
yeah. Shoma says, "Do you think there could be more freedom now to bring in nuance when it comes to black shows rather than playing the tropes and things like in the past?" No, because the tropes and trauma are making money.
Yeah.
I feel like the nuance will come when there are black people who are not willing to sell their people or their souls to get their dreams out there. It's my honest to God goodness belief. Like I watched Master today, and
You
then
want
I
an
looked
hour
at
back? That's what you said on
I
Twitter or
want my
something.
hour and a half back. Then I go look at I'm like, who wrote this? Who wrote this? It's a black woman. Then I look at all the stuff that she's created, and it's all in this same traumatic narrative. And I just was like, and I went to her Instagram page and like upcoming black director, upcoming black director, like all these articles for the last few years. And I'm just like,
You know, some narratives don't fit with everybody. Is what I will say. Two, yeah, that's you make a good point, Shomla, when it comes to nuance. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong if y'all don't feel this way, and I know that y'all will, even people in the comments. Um, can we just stop with the shows? I just think we should gatekeep some more. We don't need
for
to
real.
explain everything. I think we need to be on our gatekeeping
I
shit,
promise if I
like
come up with a show, I'm
hardcore.
hitting up Kev on stage. Like, hey, can I get on your app? Can we figure out how we can put my show? What can I do? How do I do that? Because
Yeah,
I don't
I
get it.
feel like bring gatekeeping back because I feel like we're letting too many of our stuff out. Like
And it's
we're
coming from
sharing too
nothing.
much of our stuff. We're sharing
And it's
too
not even
much.
really sharing it, it's watering it down. Like it's putting a
Right.
version of it out there, but it's always with a wink and a nod. And it's like, oh, so that wasn't to me because there would
No,
be
I
no
need
Right.
to
justice for that with a wink and a
let's just
nod. Like
start
I should
gatekeeping.
so, but I
I
think
feel
this
like
brings
you
us to the
can't tell
question
me something is for me, and then I get to it, and I'm like, this isn't for me.
Right. I think that takes us into the next question of what tropes and narratives are we tired of seeing?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because we kind of already talked about like, well, we didn't. It was our favorite sitcoms, but I guess we could talk about that in this. So like,
Yes.
yeah, just
Yes.
meshing together.
So
Yeah.
I think by consensus, people were like, I'm tired of seeing the trauma narratives, and to
Right.
bring in favorite shows, like I didn't see trauma narratives and Living Single. It was Living Single is the original Girlfriends, and honestly, Living Single is better. Um,
Always
but like I don't even think that's really a competition.
at all.
So because like those are just better relationships. Like those are women loving
Way
other
healthier.
women healthily.
Did much better with dealing with conflict.
Absolutely.
Who?
So
Living single compared to
Oh yeah.
Girlfriend.
absolutely. Living Single, I
But
love. I
Kelsey Grammer produced it, so there's that.
What happened?
Kelsey Grammer produced Girlfriend, so there's
Girlfriend.
that.
Yeah, when I I hadn't seen Girlfriend for years before Netflix did their rollout of like black classic sitcoms, and I was like, I remember loving it, and then I went back and watched it. It could barely make it through one season. I was like, wait, what's going on? Because I
Yeah.
can watch Living Single over and over again.
Oh, without
Right,
a
yeah,
doubt.
Right.
Without a
With no
doubt.
bad
right.
taste in my mouth, no acid taste in
Nothing.
my mouth.
Never.
But
Zero.
girlfriends only sit right at certain times in certain mindsets. Like
You gotta watch certain episodes.
I
You
feel
gotta watch
like the
certain episodes.
relation I feel like the relationship between Tony and the other dark
oh,
skinned black woman,
toxic.
So this
Oh,
is how,
Maya.
and
Tony
this
and
is
Maya.
also.
Maya.
It
There we
was
go.
toxic.
I
It
also
was
feel
weird
like
too.
Girlfriends was like the introduction of the dark skinned corporate working black woman
Mm.
Working
narrative.
for.
Because
Yeah.
like in everything that Netflix or that BET started to do after that, when there was a dark woman and a light skinned black woman in the character, the light skinned black woman would be bougie, the stay at home mom, the kind of do things, and the dark skinned woman would be like a doctor or a lawyer or a publicity person or that kind of thing. And I just was like, I don't like it. I
And it was
don't
for
like
the purpose of demasculating her.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
of
Of
feminizing her and emasculating
masculinizing her.
her.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She's so stern. She's unapproachable. She don't need no man.
Yeah.
Right.
She's
Yeah.
castrating him. It was
I
absolutely the
hated it.
purpose of masculinizing her and defeminizing her.
Right.
There's a TV show that came out with Gabrielle Union.
Yeah, she was
Being Mary
constantly the
Jane.
working dark skinned black
Right.
woman.
Being Mary
And that was
Jane.
also when they started this black women sleeping with married men in every show. And that's another thing. Like, I don't
Yeah,
like it.
that's
I don't like it.
That's
damn, I
honestly why
forgot
I
about
couldn't get
that
behind
era.
Kendall. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, that's why I
I
definitely couldn't.
retract
Not
I
watching
retract my
Kendall based off
statement. I retract my statement from earlier because now y'all saying all these shows that I literally blinked on and I'm like, mm-hmm. Because
Yeah,
even
so
though your girl and we all know I have memory issues, but we all the girl, oh my God, Priyanka, Scandal.
Yeah,
Kerry
Even
Washington.
though Kerry
Kerry
Washington,
Washington.
even though I liked Kerry Washington in Scandal because I felt like she was a
Listen, she
bad
played
mama
her
Gemma.
role.
She was bad mama Gemma with her world, but I was just like, why black women can't just have love that's not complicated and not
Why we gotta
um
steal it?
And then
and
they
It was
followed
a
it up with
homewrecker.
How to
There's
Get
more
Away
white
with
guys
Murder.
do that. It don't care. It don't matter what you feel about his wife.
Or
Kerry Washington was playing a homewrecker.
they
and
followed
then
it up
how
with How to
how
Get Away with Murder, and I was done. I was like, I'm
Yeah,
not watching
no.
anything this woman do. That's why everybody's like,
listen,
I'm not watching it. I'm not
I
watching it.
didn't I didn't finish How to Get Away with Murder because I got to the season where she just kept fucking over that black man and I was like, I can't be a part of this.
And
Like,
she was always in distress. I was like, I'm not
not
going.
always in distress.
She was always Viola Davis constantly in distress. Constantly snot nose crying. Now we know if Viola's gonna cry, she gonna give us some snot.
Yeah.
That's not the point. The point is
Yeah.
she was constantly in distress, wig off, hair looking just like she
Yeah.
was out of bed.
No.
Then
Yeah, I'm def
a whole
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Vina, I'm definitely not realizing they're toxic. I'm remembering that they're toxic because I forgot about them. That is the difference.
repression. Yeah, no,
I'm with
I
this.
think
I'll always adore the Cosby Show for what it was. We would not have a different world without the Cosby Show. I appreciate it for what it is, for sure.
yeah,
Um,
and also
How did I
never
forget about the
mind.
Jeffersons too? Lord,
man,
We
that
the
had
show was
Jefferson
giving.
and Amen, the show. George Jefferson took no mess, right?
Yeah,
It was a
I
drama.
wished I watched more of that with my mom, if I'm being honest.
Right. Even when there were more white friends in the beginning of Sister
Yeah,
Sister, they weren't educating them.
right.
Like very rarely was Raven ever educating
Nope.
Chelsea. They were
I
just
don't, I don't,
existing.
I don't think she ever did, if
I
I'm
I
right.
honest.
don't remember anything.
I don't remember it
The
ever.
Proud Family. Penny
The
had that.
Proud Family,
What
right?
Zoe?
Right.
Zoe didn't
Zoe,
get no education in Black
man.
culture. She was just around.
Right. The way I'm upset that Kiki Palmer and her brother are adopted, but it couldn't be by two black men. It's a gay couple, and it's a black man and a white man, and I just was like,
What?
we
What show
couldn't
was it?
show the new Proud Family. The new Proud Family. Kiki Palmer is adopted. Her character is
It's a
adopted.
live
Uh,
action.
huh?
No, it's the cartoon.
The
Okay, there's just the voices of. I have not yet to lay eyes on it. I thought it was just
no,
going to be an
I
extension
haven't.
of where they picked up.
They
They're
do.
changing the narrative.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
but
somebody moved into Sticky's house. Sticky moves away. A new family moves in. Kiki Palmer is the new in the new family.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah.
I
So
mean, some things change. To me, if I had to choose a Proud Family, it's gonna be the old version.
Absolutely.
But people, I think people just want to include everybody who was not black into these shows these days. It feels like, but it's like, ain't nothing wrong with keeping it all
there was
black
already
cast
white
too.
inclusion. What do we
Right.
need more
It's
for?
like that wasn't
It
not a
was
thing.
already there. It was already
You didn't
there.
have to
What
stretch
do
for
we
it.
need
And
more
I
for?
think
We had
to
a Latinx family. We had a black single mom with a bunch of kids. We had Sticky with both of his parents. We had Zoe and both of her parents. So, like, what? Why? It was a purpose decision to make this man white. Why couldn't we show? Because how many shows do we get with gay parents that are both black? I don't know too many. So please, if y'all know them, drop them in the chat where both the parents are black.
Oh, I do know one. Wait, no, that's a lie. It's a black man and a white man.
Uh-huh.
That was a
Yeah, I'm
lie. That
waiting
was a
because
lie.
I'm doing what
I
cat. Oh,
gotta think
don't
about
worry,
that.
I'll wait in my Cat Williams voice. Don't
I
worry,
gotta
I'll
think
wait.
about that.
Right.
Shit.
If it is, it's like one of our movies, right? Like it's one of those moments. Literary Lady says we lived and thrived on our own. Amen, Shay, for sure. Tyrone says,
oh
"Oh,
no.
this is that. That was what that was." Okay, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was definitely a troll. I was like, wait, what does this have to do with anything?
Exactly. That's why I was confused earlier. I was like, what is
Right. And I
I
was like,
can't
what is
follow
it?
this thread of conversation. What's happening?
Right. I know what it was. So let's just block that. Just do that.
I've only watched 2 or 3 episodes of the new Proud Family, and I was like, "What is
Oh
this?"
no.
And I headed
Or
out.
Couch, the new Cheaper by the Dozen. Has anybody seen it? I don't know if
The new
I
cheaper
saw
by the
someone
dozen.
mention it on Twitter and she was like, it left a lot to be desired. I was like, where is Shay right now?
So here's the thing. I'm not gonna watch it
What?
off the trailer.
There's a new
It's
cheaper by the
Gabrielle
dozen.
Union and a white
Yeah.
man, so we'll start
Really
there.
that white guy.
It will also start with the fact that the white man has kids that are just white, but she don't have kids that are just black.
They're clearly mixed. They're really racially ambiguous, actually. But
Right. So it's like, because like he has mixed children, but he also has white children. So it's like, why is there in this Cheaper by the Dozen not one child from two black parents? Why is it specifically that there's no dark skinned children when Gabrielle Union is dark skinned?
It's Venus said Kenya Bears did that.
Oh, are we surprised? Are we surprised? Didn't I say I wasn't watching nothing Kenya Bears did? Didn't I say I said it?
It's so
Formula,
sad
all
because
of us.
it's like
101 was my show.
I
I
really like
love the black man
101.
raising his daughter. I loved 101 for that. First of all, as black people, we need to give Kyla Pratt her flowers.
She needs
We
her
do.
flowers.
She
she been
needs her
she
She
been
flowers.
out
needs her
She has
flowers.
been out here giving us life for a very long time.
I'm not
We
gonna
have
lie.
so many
One
black.
on one just gave me everything when I was a child and my dad wasn't there.
He was a good dad.
He
Like
was a
he
good
was.
dad.
Yeah, but
He
that
was
part
a
is the
good
part
dad.
is the most controversial part of Moesha because they felt like it was just a push to get Ray J in there, but ruin the dad's reputation with their. I do feel the same way. I definitely at the time I remember being irritated because I was like, he's been a stand-up guy like this entire time. Was even raising him when his wife died and he wasn't with D yet. Like it did bother me. But I did like how they handled the situation, like in the show. Like I like that because again, dark skinned Shirley Ralph, love, 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 love her. I loved that like she didn't just like the way that we are conditioned to think she would react wasn't how she reacted in the show, and that is what I appreciated. Like it's showing that. Yeah, okay. All right. People talk about Tyrone. Got you. The cast felt at that moment they have fallen on stereotypes. I believe it. I believe it. Half and half, even Eve cuts, all the shows you mentioned were amazing. Half and half, I thought was a really, really good show. I loved half and half. Rachel
through
True and Esther
Um,
Atkins.
history.
I liked Half and Half. I love Eve because she's my favorite female rapper. But
Also,
Cuts,
we can't
I
forget
don't
Malcolm and
remember.
Eddie. Bruh. Malcolm and Eddie, Malcolm Jamal Warner and Eddie Griffin. That show loved, loved, loved it.
I will say I hate that a lot of these shows that were like in the girlfriends and um half and half era. A lot of those shows got canceled without being able to finish
Very
because
true. Very true.
like we never know who Mona ends up with, and it bothers me so bad. And it bothers me after she had her glow up in Lorenzo and that fine dark brown man. Who is it? Will from Meet the Browns. What is the actor's name? He was also on Why Did I Get Married? Sheriff Troy.
I can't think of what his name is, but I know he's talking about.
But you
Why
can
your
see
mama?
him.
Don't ever help me be the poster
No,
person
I
for knowing
know.
a
Remember
person's
Little
name.
Bill? Little Bill was my
Little Bill.
show. You never saw Little Bill, the
No,
cartoon?
I
Uh-uh.
didn't. Just
That
about
was definitely my little brother's nickname. They
yeah.
definitely call my little brother Little Bill whenever he got his hair cut.
Yeah,
Um,
Blackish doesn't
right.
gatekeep much. I'm not
It doesn't.
saying we can't share, but I just feel like we're oversharing.
And I'm also like, why?
Right.
Like when
Um,
we are including these random white people, when we're explaining parts of Black culture, I'm like, at that point, you're when you're doing that and asking me to ignore your agenda, now it feels like you think I'm stupid. Like all
Right.
of that is to push this post-racial agenda that we can now share Black culture freely without acknowledging that Black culture has been vilified, without acknowledging that Black culture has been stolen, without acknowledging all the things that have been done to attack Black culture. But now you want to farm it out and act like it's an offer of peace when it's like Black people don't owe white people an offer of peace. We are not instigators of anything. So why is there this cultural exchange happening through the explanation on these shows for the purpose of pushing this fantasy that we're in some sort of post-racial, non-tense society when we know that's not true?
I
And then
think
when
it.
things like that happen, like on Blackish, like George Floyd, whatever, like these things happen while these post-racial shows are happening, and they have to acknowledge it. It's so ridiculous.
Right.
It's so scripted, like it's non-genuine. It's like, oh yes, this happens. We're not as far as we think we are. Then on that note, this entire show could go.
The
I
way
feel like
that
a.
I was like, they had a whole colorism episode because there's only one dark skinned child. First of
Oh,
all,
what?
that's been bothering me the whole
Oh,
casting.
Yeah, I do remember that. I feel like we in media a lot of times when it comes to um Black family, it's typically currently not a lot of um what is it called, like in between things that are happening. Like for example, like the shows that are not built with us in mind, it shows
For
for the
sure.
most part. And I feel like those shows either have this how do you say it, like they're either trying their best to be like educating and friendly and trying to get people to realize that black people aren't dangerous, so making everything for the white gaze, or it's just super stereotypically, like super
Right.
stereotypical. And that doesn't even have to be like TV shows, it's movies, it's whatever. It's like either we're going to follow this stereotype, or there's going to be one black kid who get killed in the horror movie, or they're just going to
Right.
have cameos of the black person or the black person holding the coffee, or it's like there's never no like mediocre in between. And then we think that we're getting mediocre in between with shows that are um, for the white gays. And then we get Shonda Rhimes, and there's some questionable things there,
It's
or the other person that you just said, and there's some questionable things there. It's like even when black people are the ones who are the gatekeepers and holding the pens,
But it's
there are
not,
still
because
things.
again, it's not. We're not gatekeeping. There's not black people gatekeeping. There's black people
No,
selling their soul and selling their
I'm
people to sell their shows.
I'm
Like,
saying like the gatekeepers, not actual gatekeepers. You know what I
oh,
mean?
okay, okay. I was like, there's not
Yeah.
gatekeeping. Like,
No, no,
it's
no,
not like
no,
I want to do this because I want to make a
no.
name for myself,
The
and I don't care
people,
what it costs.
yeah, yeah, the people who are in there who
Right.
supposedly, got the keys to the kingdom, can
I
also
love this
equally
too,
be
Elizabeth.
causing
Like,
harms.
Moesha and Family Matters definitely helped
Uh-huh.
me to not feel as insecure about being dark skinned. Like,
Yeah.
for sure. I was super glad they existed. And now I can't think of too many shows. Like, I mean, I know that the Bel Air just started, but before Bel Air, I couldn't think of too many shows where there's a dark skinned black girl playing a lead outside of and she got more time once the oldest sister left on Blackish, but
oh yeah.
UPN was bomb. I
I'm not
definitely hope
gonna, oh,
it does, because I know I've seen like on Instagram and different things about like there was a time where her daughter thought she was embarrassed by her because of how much weight she had. So I know that there has
Mm,
been like regret and conversations about it because of how it affected her daughter for sure.
wow.
Um,
going back to that question below, I am typically the darkest cousin on both sides of my family. Um, and I think I didn't become real comfortable with being a dark skinned black woman until my little sister was born. Because she is my skin color. And baby, you can't tell her nothing. And she be gassing your girl up. So shout out to Zari, by the way.
yeah,
I don't
so
think I've
my
gotten it from TV at all. I wouldn't say that I got it from TV.
Yeah, no. I so in the family that I grew up in on my mom's side, everyone was dark skinned except my aunt's kids. Her kids are really, 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 really light skinned. They're
Mm-hmm.
not mixed though. So but they're all like really, really light skinned. And she taught my oldest cousin when she was like a kid that like she didn't have to do stuff because she was light skinned. So like my first dealing with racism, I was or colorism, I was like 6 years old, and my cousin had come to live with us with my grandma, and grandma had told me to come tell her to clean up, and she was like, "Mama said I don't have to clean up. I'm light skinned," and that was my first like real life lesson of colorism. So
Mm.
like being in places where I went from at that time, I just left going from an all black school to going to a predominantly white school, and mostly everybody there is lighter than me. So like my
Yeah.
whole worldview had like changed in that part. So it definitely is.
Yeah.
Vicky says, I feel like the shows now have a different agenda than we want black folks to see themselves in media and just be able to enjoy seeing black life.
That's definitely
Right.
not the agenda.
That's not the agenda at all. I think I get what the new agenda is, and it's not for us anymore for sure.
It's not. It's to try to push this post-racial fantasy.
Yeah, I do think they were from UPN as well. it's about us, but it ain't for us. Gullah Gullah Island was the first show I watched that felt like my family. That's so dope.
And I also,
Go ahead.
sorry, I also want to say, like, just because things are getting, like, when we're talking about colorism, I also want to say, like, there is room for all different skin colors of Black folks. We
Right,
just
for
see
sure.
that there was favoritism happening
Right,
here. So,
for sure. I totally agree with that. Adrian says I didn't watch a lot of those shows because I'm more of a crime procedural. Oh yeah, by the time like CSI came out, Without a Trace, all of that, that was. But at that time, all these shows switched and they didn't exist no more too. So that's also what happened. Like around that time, UPN wasn't there anymore. So then it went to lawyer shows and crime shows. Show type of
yeah.
person, or drama, not comedy, with an exception of a few. Yeah.
But I need a CSI or Criminal Minds with
With all Black
majority.
people, for sure.
Right.
For sure,
I
I
need that. I
I
need
can't
that
with
in my
Blackish
life.
at all. I
Even
didn't
if
watch
they're
it at
not
first.
all Black. TLC.
Right. I didn't
Oh, go
watch it at
ahead.
first because of the title. Then they said it was Blackish because Bo was mixed and always brought her white hippie parenting style into the mix. Yeah,
That's what they said.
right. Hey, cool gamer. Speaking of YouTube, the Black queer series are good and have Black representation. Oh, okay, I have to check that out. I know that in Oklahoma City there was like a Black queer web show that they put on YouTube. And I mean, it was like mid 2000s, so filming and whatnot is awful. It's like low budget, but it was entertaining. Your girl was wrapped into the story, so there's that. Breathe, that is a great way to explain it, I'm for sure. Power, Raising Cain, the new Bel Air show, Ghost. Here's my thing.
I need to watch the new Bella show. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to watch that.
I'm gonna wait till the whole season comes out first before I watch it.
Ghosts I can't get into, but my mama swears by it. And Power.
So here's the thing is I probably would have gotten to the follow-up shows had Power not put a bad taste in my mouth. I just was not with you never showing your dark-skinned Black wife this other side of you and going after this lighter Latinx lady. I just couldn't get with it. I just could not. It just was not working. I just was not working. My family dynamics are a little different because most of them are in the Caribbean. Got you. I don't think that's the only reason. Which one are you talking about? Okay. Let's tell the truth. Shame the devil. Most Black men that I know who date outside our race is because they see Black women as being too hard on them. You know what? Keep to yourself. That part for sure.
I just don't like how Black women always get kicked underneath the bus when a Black man decides to date a non-Black woman. It's like, bro, live your life. Live your life, man. Live it.
So we mostly been talking about shows, but what other examples, if any, of Black families have influenced you? Books, movies, plays, musicals?
I don't really watch plays and musicals. So I'm gonna just skip on that. But books, I gotta think on that too. Like, I don't know. It's the one I gotta think on. I'm gonna think on the whole thing. Somebody else?
Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I know you're gonna go to your favorite.
Shay, can you put the question up, please? I'm sorry.
I know you're gonna go to your favorite Black classical family. The Logans.
Who, me?
No, Shay.
No, me. Yeah, the Logans.
So I know that's what Shay's gonna say. I have only read one book in that series, and it's actually the one book that Shay hasn't read yet, unless she has finished The Land.
I'm like 90% through.
Okay.
Yeah.
That book was
It's made me cry more than any of the other ones. It's made me cry way more than these.
After I read The Land, I was like, I cannot imagine.
It's way harder. It's way harder, but it's also completely in a different time. Like, so it's a way harder story. So I
maybe I'll go back and read it from the beginning, because I was like, I can't do that for an entire series. Like, The Land is such a hard. And I read that when I was in the 5th grade, and my teacher was like, my white teacher, my white well-meaning teacher in this mostly white school, was like, you can have this book. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it was the last book in the series that she wrote up until the one that came out in 2020. So yeah, no, it's definitely made me cry more than the other one. So I totally get
I
you that.
cannot believe I read that in the 5th grade. I that was not it. I don't even know why that book was in there. I'm convinced that she
I
had.
know why, and it should have been, and I feel like it should stay in because I feel like it's one of those books that people are taking out. Because the truth of the matter is, and I love in her author's note, is that there were fifth graders experiencing it. There are fifth graders who have to deal with it.
That
So
is
if there's fifth, eighth graders that got to live with it, then the rest of y'all need to know about it. And that's it. Like that's it. Like I know that it's hard, but bruh, because the truth is, who else gonna tell it? What other story, even close to that, from elementary school on to high school, have you read?
I avoid them.
Like, but for work, for like that's my thing. Is
Oh, for
most
work?
people right for school? Most people
Oh, I
aren't
have to
required to
engage with
read
it for
anything
school.
like that, so they don't have, you know what I mean? They don't have this same knowledge of it. So it like to
Yeah,
me,
if I
I
could go
definitely
back and take
understand
that
that.
book from my little self, I'm not even gonna hold you. I would do it. And just tell her to read that at a different stage in life though, because reading that in the setting where I was, like that was a lot. So I would have moved that way up, maybe to high school when I was already in an all black setting, not when I was the only black kid in a white school and then having to read that. Not having to, I picked it up myself, but I would have moved that up the timeline for me. Um, but I knew that you were going to say the Logan family series for your black films that have influenced you. Were you going to say something else?
I was gonna say a lot more than that, but go ahead.
Okay. Um, it came up in the comments. I don't think that we've gotten there yet, but someone, or maybe it was actually earlier in the way past. I think it was Vina that was saying like, um, there's no black families in YA. And I was actually just doing an interview with Lizelle Stanbury today. Y'all will see that later, probably like next month. But talking about representations of black families, specifically in her debut novel Blood Like Magic, and how for her, like that was just sort of the only way. She didn't say it was a pet peeve of hers, but she was like, it's just something that she doesn't like seeing in YA where the parents are absented because that's not realistic and that wasn't her experience. Like she had her mom and her grandma on her butt when she was a kid and she talked to both of them and told and asked them questions like they were a part of her life. And so I like that Blood Like Magic is one of the few more recent YA fantasies that we've gotten that do have a positive, complex representation of Black family. Um, I have yet to finish Daughters of Jubilation. If it had an audiobook, I would have been done 5 times over. But I've yet to finish Daughters of Jubilation. But that's a black family representation as well. It's the mom and the grandmother living like farther up in the hills, and the main character and her like twin sisters. Like, so I wish we had more because the black family representation that I'm seeing, if we even see like this at all, it's not even borderline negligent. It's fully negligent. It's fully negligent. So I mean we do see examples of black families. We just don't like them.
That part. Bree, do you have some yet, or can I go?
Yeah, I wrote them down.
Okay, go ahead.
So some of them are oddly specific and for one reason. So I will say. In the Parkers, I really liked their relationship when I was younger. I can't pinpoint why, but somehow I liked it.
Say that
Other
again.
than the
The part.
Parkers,
The Parkers. Oh, got you. Yeah.
yeah. And then the Cosbys, Lord Jesus, Cosby Show. Because I think it was just really good for me to see two black people talking out conflict versus yelling at each other, because that's all I saw. So that was probably the first times I can remember seeing conflict being resolved verbally. One on one on seeing like a black parent be a black father, sorry, being present in his daughter life was really important to me at that time because that wasn't a thing for me. The Bel Air was good for me to see like different socioeconomic status of Black people. I think that was something that I needed to see. When it comes to like books, the book I talk about this book a lot. It's one of my favorite books by Angela. Lord, I'm so tired. Maya Angelou. And it's called Mom, Me, and Mom. And it's a story about her relationship with her mother. And I felt like there's so many stories that she told in that book that I just needed to hear. Because I think a lot of times I've just had like difficulty in the past and sometimes current with my mom. And it's just really good to hear how another Black woman and her mom like navigated those hard truths that is very similar in my relationship with my mom. So there's a lot of things I felt that helped me understand my relationship with my mom that therapy couldn't do, but this book did it. So that really influenced me on like my family relationship with my mom. And then also I feel like Audre Lorde's when she talked about her relationship with her son really helped me understand my role as an auntie, not even as a mother, but as an auntie in relationship to my family and how I talk with my nephew and things that I want him to understand that not him, all of them, to understand that they don't always be thinking about, especially when it comes to being a woman and being a Black woman in society. So I know that was really long, but that's all I can
I
think of
love
right now.
it. Okay, I'm gonna give my examples. I have to go through a few of these. The tragic mixed person is a thing, and marriage for racial gratification is a thing. Also, dating someone white won't save you. Exactly. Vina, I feel you on this. I have a few people that you know what, no, stay away from Black women because I really don't want. Just leave us alone. I love you, fam, but just go ahead. Just if you gonna do that, don't do it to us. Just don't.
I'm so sorry. I forgot. I wrote it down.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm just adding it. So I also feel like what has really influenced me and gave me so much hope is Christina Jones and Alexandria House and the way that they
Alexandria
do and
House.
the way they depict vulnerability between two Black characters is everything to
I can't believe I
me.
forgot my
And
queen.
I want that in my life. I want
Truly.
that in my life. Okay, my TED
I
talk
love
is
it.
completely done. I just forgot
Sorry. No,
to
but
talk
retweet on
about.
Alexandria House. Queen.
For
And I
sure.
love all her depictions of Black family. And I love that they're messy and I love that they're sprawling. And I love that with Black family, we also get an emphasis on sibling relationships. I love it all.
I
I
love it. I
love
love
it
it. I love
all.
it. I love it. Her Black men can do no wrong, and I love it. I love it. I
Period.
love it.
They are
I
not
don't
going to be the
care.
problem.
They're not gonna be the problem, and I love it. I love it. Black folk got on an island with their new white families, and they didn't have enough agency and pro-blackness to begin with to not end up with weirdo mixed kids. Okay, let's talk about it because some people are only pro-black when they the only Black person in the room. Okay, okay.
Hashtag the other Black girl.
Man, Vicky says racism still exists in queer spaces, don't it? Say that again. Sometimes it rears its ugly head by the who gets treated worse game, that part. Also, people keep trying to push this idea that mixed kids with Black mothers don't have the same issues with identity ones with white mothers do, and that ain't true. I don't think they have them in the same way.
I
I
don't
think they
either.
have identity issues in different ways. I don't think they happen in the same way because I'll be honest, the mixed people I know with Black moms move way differently than the mixed people I know with white moms. Like they just move differently. I
There's
don't
just
think that
cultural there's just cultural things that Black mom can pass on that white moms can't. And that's just
Right,
facts.
right. It's just
right.
a thing.
And
Like it
also
is.
the mixed people that I know with white moms, they center their complex with their identity, whatever it is, on being raised by a white mother. Like it's not just that they're mixed, it's that their mom is white. That like they come
Yeah.
back to that a lot.
Which I
Yeah.
don't
So
see a lot with non-white mothers.
Right. Right, me either.
If I'm saying
Yeah,
If
no,
there
so I
it is.
definitely have had this experience, and I like, again, being younger. So my freshman year, I was 17, and because there was this guy, loved him, loved, thought he was like the bee's knees,
not
legitimately.
the
Not the
bee's
The
bee's
knees.
knees.
bee's knees. And he was
Jinx,
so
Brie, you owe me
funny.
a soda.
And so I really feel like at the time, I do think that he believed he was gay. I think at that time I knew that he was trans. And I feel like that's why I didn't have an issue when he would touch me. But when I think about it now, I look back and I was like, that was totally inappropriate. That was totally not okay. But because of, at the time, my view on who he was and what he was doing, I allowed
Mhm.
something I would have never allowed in any other situation. And
I did the same thing.
for me, that was a lesson in, it doesn't matter. You're still not
Yeah.
this. You still don't live with this. And the truth of the matter being, a black gay man would have never done what you did, because I've never had a gay man do what you done. And I have best friends that are black gay men, right?
Mhm.
Like, that would do anything in the world for me, and they ain't never touched me
Yeah.
like this, right? So
Right.
Yeah.
I
I'm not
definitely,
saying it cannot exist. It has never
right,
happened to me
for sure, for sure.
from black gay men.
This part, we exhausted. We exhausted.
So
I'm not
tired.
gonna lie, Ulysses, I was watching, oh my God, I forgot the network. Shoot. But it was a network and it was a bunch of new movies and not movies, TV shows coming out, and they all were black trauma. And I was like,
I'm gonna just go sit down somewhere and watch anime. Like I won't do it.
yeah,
That part.
it's sad.
Exactly.
That part. I just want my black man and live my black
Period.
life.
I'm not trying to do much
Period.
more with y'all. Leave me alone.
I don't think any person on this screen is in disagreement with
I know.
you.
Like that's
This
it.
part, I am sick of slave stories. I am. I will not lie though. Your girl is waiting to see Kiki Palmer slave
Absolutely.
movie. I
Marry
ain't gonna lie. Your girl is ready for her to set that plantation on
On
Let's
fire.
get it.
fire.
I'm
And we
ready.
can go.
I'm
Let me
ready.
see it.
In my brief, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
That
Yes.
narrative.
That's
Let's
the
see it.
last slave movie. Yo, not she said she put on the most traumatizing part of 12 Years a Slave on the plane. Not that's what she said. I can't.
I
Friends
forgot
is
12
ripped off
Years a
because they
Slave.
think
I
about
watched it and was mad about it and deleted every scene from my mind.
it. I'm not watching it for nobody black, let alone white. Like, girl, stop.
I watched
Well
it and I
said.
was like, I did not need this in
All
my
right. We
brain,
don't all
Lord.
live in a constant state of trauma and drama at
We
all.
don't.
Speak
We're
that
overly
truth.
explaining everything. It's over.
In the
Why are we
UK too. I
it's
hate that for y'all.
that part, multiple characters.
She plays the shrew. And now
She
she's trying to get
does.
out of it, but it's like it feels like it's too late because the roles that she's playing now are it's awkward.
I can't. That part. That man was wrecking his own home. She was just the ball he was having and using. I'm
And I
done.
hated it. I
Yeah.
hated it. She had some iconic reads on that show, but I just could not get over her
But
being
Right.
a
my
his
thing
doggone
is,
Becky Call.
can we think of like a can we think of a show that depicted a black woman and a white man that wasn't the center of the show was not that black woman's pain and suffering? Like, why is that the interracial relationship y'all want to put
I can't tell
online?
you because your girl don't watch interracial hardly
Like, why
anything.
is
So
that the
I don't
type
know.
that you want to, like, not every couple is feeling that. And that's what but they always want to see black women go through it. I hate it.
That's
Hated
why I
it.
stopped watching Scandal. Not Scandal. Well, yeah,
Hated
Scandal,
it.
and also How to Get Away with Murder.
That's why KJ dropped that comment because it was the the episode of the Proud Family reboot. So on mine, okay. So I'm gonna
Yes.
go with books first. Okay, so the first book is Color Me Dark by Patricia Mckissack. It
Oh
was in the
yeah,
like
Color
Dear
Me
America
Dark.
series. And it was about like two sisters. They're like they're the type of sisters that they're like 9 months apart, 10 months apart, so they share a birthday. And one is very, very light and one is very, very dark. And they moved from the south to Chicago. And it was about a light-skinned girl who wished that she was darker because everybody treated her better than her dark-skinned sister. And that played like a very big like impact on me. But it was because the family, again, central to the story. It's aunts, it's uncles, it's grandmas, it's grandpas, it's everybody living in the family together. They owned like a mortuary. So like that was part of the story of them being entrepreneurs and working. And so that was one. Another one, Christopher Paul Curtis's Bud Not Buddy. I love me some Bud Not Buddy. It is
I've not read that since I was a kid.
It's a comfort read. I go back to it. I love that it explored like what happens when families get torn apart and what the hope and the dreams and the innocence of children that can bring them back together. I just loved it. I loved all the lessons that I want to say he's either 6, 8, or 9, because I feel like there's a reference to him being 6, and maybe that's when his mom died. But like he's less than 10 years old, but all these references to the lessons that his mom gives him throughout the story, just everything. I love it. Of course, the Logan. Again, I had not read this, but I'll be honest, and y'all will see the vlog. People talk about how hard it is to be mixed. Now, ain't no way y'all could have dealt with being mixed in the 1800s.
Right. That's a different hardship.
That's a different hardship. That is a different situation. And this book, bruh. The conversations, y'all see it in the blog.
So
but
hard.
the other books aren't nearly as traumatic as this one. But family is central to everything. There is no getting away from it. It's Big Ma in the house. It's the grandfather that's in this book doing everything in his power to get the 400 acres that ends up being the story that continues. You see everything he did. And for me, it's like I know all the characters in the book. And so I'm getting where these names came from and who they were named after and what was going on.
Oh, is this like a prequel to the series?
This is the prequel. This is the
interesting.
Prequel.
So I can just start the series since I read it already.
Right, yeah, you could go ahead and start Rolling Thunder Him or Crying. Yeah, definitely be a different thing. So definitely love that. Especially love like how she makes sure you know, like this is my family story. This isn't just fiction. Like this is how people had to live and what they had to go through. Movies, okay, y'all. Crooklyn was my jam. Okay, I loved me some Alfred Woodard and Troy the Boy. Crooklyn, what? I loved it. I loved like getting the hand clap games, the double dutch. I loved it. Dang, there was another film one. Okay. Sister Act 2. Cheryl Lee Ralph and Lauryn Hill. Love it. Love the conversation.
Crooklyn. I had to look it up. Oh my God. No, it's a core memory. A couple of them.
Troy the Boy. Was my
oh my God. That looked like her on the steps talking to her daddy.
Right? Ooh. I love it.
Some core. I might have to watch that again.
Man, right? That will have a black person, but their partner isn't black and usually white, right? The Jeffersons is free on the Bernie Mac show, bruh. If there's one person I could ask God back that's a celebrity, it would be Bernie Mac. Can we have him back? Steve Harvey. I'm so sick of Steve Harvey. I don't know what to do. Can we have Bernie Mac?
I also love the honesty of that show where he was just living his single life with his wife. And then these raggedy kids came, is what he said.
He said, no, thank you.
Here's my, that show was made for white people to see us. Legitimately, throughout the show, he like, okay, America, okay, white people, okay, like throughout the show, that's what he says. And it's like, it's still not what Blackish is. So you can expose white people to blackness and not do that. Right. That's what Bernie Mac show showed us.
Right.
He did not.
It's unfortunate that they be doing these spin-offs of shows and doing it wrong. Like Girlfriends Did Living Singles wrong. Blackish is doing the Bernie Mac show wrong. And it's like, did you study? Did you do the reading? Because this is not what was assigned to you.
Right. The old Cheaper by the Dozen I love. I'm not gonna lie. First of all, I'm a Steve Martin fan. That man be having me laughing. He really do. He be having me giggling.
Yeah. Oh,
I was like, to me, why wasn't it a black family? I just don't understand that.
Oh, I think I know what y'all talking about now. I think I may have seen clips. I was like,
I saw a trailer of it. Shay sent me a trailer.
Yeah. Desaturated.
I was like, cheap about a dozen. What the hell?
If they aren't gonna remake it right, that part, leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Right. It was just one big family. That's not what they did. Right.
That's true.
Yeah, I want to see Kyla Pratt in some more work, especially sci-fi. Flex
she did a little sci-fi when she was a kid.
Right.
I want to see her on the
I think.
Kenan and Kel was everything.
With a plan or a plot to make it to the top, but they kind of in the middle because they always get somebody in trouble.
I loved how black all that was. Let me just say it. I loved how black all that was when we were kids. I did.
I feel like Kayla Pratt and what's her name? Keke Palmer have gotten that what is it called? Like stuck into like only being seen as child actors and actresses. Because I would like to see them both on the big screen.
This whole time.
They both have done adult.
They've been working.
They've definitely been working a lot.
I'm talking about the fame. Like they are not. I feel like they're underrated, and I feel like they shouldn't be.
I definitely think they're underrated.
Yeah, I feel like they're underrated to people who aren't black, because I don't think black people would think they're underrated. Like, we love us some Kiki and we love us some Kyla. Like, like everybody else might be underrated, but it ain't us. When I dislocated my arm as a little girl, I got to eat chocolate cake and watch Little Bill until I fell asleep. Love Little Bill. Also, I love My Wife and Kids. I loved My Wife and Kids. It was hilarious. I died laughing.
I will never forget that scene where he was teaching Claire's boyfriend how to be more hood. And he was like, he wrote him some lines, and he was like, y'all come in. He said, listen, it's not Hebrew.
Right, that part. That's the other part. We have always included white people in the stuff we did. So the way y'all doing it don't even make sense. We ain't never excluded y'all.
You're not studying.
Right.
And it shows. We can tell when you didn't do the reading.
Right. They stole our stuff and gave it away freely. Now they label it TikTok lingo, that part, or Gen Z language. Want to wear our hairstyles like that girl said sticky bangs, and I was like, what we not gonna do is this.
Gen Z, I'm just like, I'm worried about y'all. I'm worried.
I've heard
like y'all don't know enough, and y'all just be relabeling everything. It's scary.
Right. Just look at how people
base in your chest don't know anything about it.
Part. People didn't even bother to educate themselves on what it was and went straight to protesting it. Right, that part. One of my favorite shows, besides the one mentioned before, is 227. Took me a while to think of it. I feel like I've heard of that, but I don't think I've ever seen it. Racism is alive and well and has a fully functioning immune system. That part.
It's truly very good immune system.
Hey, written
very, very good.
Yeah,
probably the best I've seen.
At least he is 227. Yes,
very healthy.
Sitcom era like Bernie Mac show was another good one with all dark.
Yeah, it sounds like it's really good dark skin route.
I love Susie Carmichael. I love Susie Carmichael and her family. Rugrats. First of all, also, that means we also need to give Cree Summer her flowers, because she been voice acting black characters for us for years. 4 years. We cannot leave her out of that. I felt so connected to that character. I took my Susie doll with me into my tonsil surgery at 9 years old. She had the medical cap and all. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, Cree been getting her coins. I had to remember what she looked like, so I googled
That
it.
part, right? Yeah, from different world. We need to decolonize our minds. That part, exactly. Brandy was an icon. She made me love being a black girl. Man, Cinderella. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That was the first black Disney princess for me.
Yeah, yeah, that is true.
We really went from having tons of rep in the 90s to barely any now. Okay,
Yeah,
say
and
it.
subpar rep at that.
That part. That part. Look, as a New Yorker, I still hate the fact that Friends never had any people of color in the coffee house or at work. How the hell is that possible in NYC? The lies. That part. That part. Right. You want to say it don't make sense. It does break. It does.
Did we
Maya
finish
had
all of our
more.
questions?
No, that was the last question. So we get
Okay,
to
cool.
yeah.
We just going
In
through.
the
Cool.
house is Maya Campbell was great. I loved In the House. I loved it.
I've never seen it, but now just that LL Cool J's on it, I'm like, well, let me
No,
find out.
Man,
I
man,
did
I feel
see
like
it, but
it's like Uncle
I
Tracy.
totally
He like
forgot
Uncle
about
Tracy.
it.
He the Uncle Tracy. In the House was good. Parenthood was good. What was the other one? There's the Hanging with Mr. Cooper was my jam. It was my jam. Wow, that's so unfortunate. Thankfully, my family didn't play with the colorism mess, especially. Yeah, no, I went immediately and told my grandma, and she was like, no, come here, come here, come here, come here. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Especially my great grandparents, aunts, uncles, right? Because so for my grandmother is lighter than me, but she's still like a darker skinned black woman. But her grandmother was full blood Native American, so she had to deal with a lot of colorism when her mother was killed, and they were like, her grandmother didn't want to raise her. My grandmother was raised by her aunt instead, because of color issues. So my grandma was
That will
not
definitely have you seeing it differently.
right. She was never having it. Look, I didn't know that I was light skinned until my freshman year of college at a HBCU. I never thought about it before. It be like that. I promise you, I moved to Dallas and I was like, I love being chocolate. And they was like, you not chocolate? Since when? I've been chocolate for 23 years. I love this chocolate. Y'all better not try to take it away from me. Tell me I'm not chocolate. I was fighting in Texas, y'all. I remember when I first realized I was dark skinned, it was being called horrible names by my lighter skinned cousins. They are from them super white countries in Europe and used to get bullied for their skin. Got you.
Passing
They
along the
always tell
hate.
us how we are lucky to have brown skin. Right. There's no post racial why there's white supremacy. Say it.
But that's the fantasy.
And
Ghost
that's
is
on
only good
period.
for the sex scenes. You're childish. During season 1, but I hated how he treated his wife. Yeah, I didn't like it.
I didn't see
That
it. I
part.
didn't see it.
That here's the thing: post-racial isn't possible if we're not going to change the Constitution.
It's not even just the Constitution.
It's
Like,
really
because that's
I
not.
the
I
foundation of
let
everything. So you change
yeah.
that, then all the laws change with it. If you don't change the foundation, it ain't never going to change because it's doing what it was always supposed to do.
I feel like it's more than which is what you said, the
Constitution.
The
Constitution. I said
Constitution.
the conjugation, Lord.
You are
It
tired.
is I am. I'm sorry.
No, it's
It
fine.
is
I'm
it's
speaking to.
it's more than just the Constitution. It's the people, it's the mindset, but definitely
Yeah.
the foundation. And a little bit of make it a little anarchy and be like burn the shit down. But you
Because
know,
my
I
thing
mean,
is if you change the rules and the laws, then people have to operate differently.
but
Nah,
you
people
know,
break
you
laws all the
speaking your
time.
truth. They do too. I mean, there's merit to all
Yeah.
sides here.
So I mean, it would have to be more comprehensive than that, but we wouldn't be able to do
Right,
it
like
with.
that's what I'm
Yes.
saying. Like you can't amend the laws. That's what we've done. You have
Yeah.
to change it all. You can't
Yeah.
amend the shit that was already wrong. Like,
Right.
because
Which,
the
if we're attacking
Constitution
critical race
it
theory, good
didn't
luck to
say
us all on
black
changing
people
that.
weren't humans. Like that's not a line in the Constitution. But we got an amendment that says we're people. Why do you have to write an amendment for something that was never done? Because it was just understood.
Right.
That's
But
why
that's
we
the
got
point. Like that, those sentiments are still there. So
right.
that would
That's
have
why.
to be like the strong follow up of like when you change that many laws, you are gonna have white backlash, a
Right.
large amount. So
Exactly.
it's like you're
I
gonna like
mean,
it's
even oh, go
He
ahead.
never fell
Sorry.
for a dark skinned girl after his wife. Talking about power. The women were just always much lighter after. Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. It would take way too much self awareness, willing to learn, and even the acceptance that you may have played the role of the bad guy. That part.
Whoop, there it is.
You're
Whoop,
never too young to
there it
understand how
is.
it really works. That part. I love the movie.
Ooh.
Black Knight was super funny. White Chicks was also hilarious. Definitely thought
Oh,
that
Hanging with Mr. Cooper in the
hanging,
house. Oh, sorry.
you said you did watch him or you didn't watch him?
Oh, I did. This is the thing. Y'all are blowing my mind because this is, man, I don't remember a lot of things. So thank y'all for helping me.
Hopefully we got you a list of stuff to watch this weekend and you get some black joy in your life.
The thing is, I've watched most of 99%, except that one thing you said earlier. It was Susie Carmichael. I don't
You
think
didn't
I
watch
Oh,
saw
from
the
that.
Rugrats.
Oh, yes,
It
I
took me a
have.
while to connect that as well.
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
can't
what?
remember names. You want me to
I don't
remember
remember the Carmichael show. Like, I think I've
I
heard
don't
of it,
even
but yeah.
I don't even remember Kayla Pratt's name on One-on-One. I know her dad was Felix.
Brianna.
Brianna.
Bria in my name. Lord, take the wheel.
I love romance that also showcases a black family. That's why I love the Jackson Falls series by Cynthia Williams, because it's basically a black Southern soap opera. I love it. Your childhood is supposed to prepare you to how to deal with your adulthood. You got to be exposed to those lessons. That part. Love White Chicks, though Terry Crews. I can't stand Terry Crews. He came here to the university to speak my first year in grad school, and he made all the black students sick to our stomachs. Almost all of us got up and walked out in the middle of it. We were not like it was. We were not having it. It was one of those. This is mixed company. Why are you talking like this in front of this room full of Caucasians? It didn't make no sense. Vicky said, and something I
That
recently
goes back
watched.
to my gatekeeping.
Right. And something I recently watched, his mother had to decide whether to explain to her young child why they were being treated differently in their school to their white counterparts. Right. Black family has influenced me and put Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. I love it. I think the problem with the children's YA market is that agents complain if adults are too involved in the story, which is like what people have parents, right?
Do y'all I have an extra question for y'all. Is
Okay.
there any current or recent books, I'm gonna say in the last 5 years, that has influenced you that centers a black family?
None that have influenced me, but I did like Blood Like Magic. I love Blood Like
Yeah.
Magic.
Okay. I'm
And
on that same page.
Alexandria House's works.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was the
I'm just
McLean brothers.
saying, Alex, listen, her and Christina does the Lord work every day.
I am so happy that they are getting paid. Like, get
Pay
your
them they
whole money.
coins.
Pay them.
Pay them they
Hey,
coins.
that part. I loved Addie. I had the whole Dear Addie collection. Even had a little good Addie doll. I loved it. I just been
Drop the
listening
Addy
to
on the way.
Alicia Garza talking imposter syndrome and patriarchy in her book The Purpose of Power, and she is so good to her. Oh, thank you. Yes, Christina C. Jones. Also, y'all, she got a YouTube channel. I don't know if y'all know
She
about it,
does.
but I've been following
Really?
Yeah.
videos very
Somebody
regularly.
send that link.
Okay, I will. Mixed kids with white moms have an I'm black phase. Then after that's done, they go running back to their all white circles. You silly. We are tired of trauma part and that part. Vengeance and slave revolts are good, but we don't have any. Y'all know. Listen, I was gonna bring up TDJ, but y'all know I don't like her. Putting it on. I will never stop dragging her for that too. Bruh, never.
Wait,
Never.
who's being dragged?
Oh, girl, when she got on the airplane and decided to play 12 Years a Slave and go to all the traumatizing parts. Y'all didn't see that? Y'all don't know what I'm talking about? Okay. So, oh, girl that wrote White Smoke has a tweet that, well, had it. She deleted it because Black Twitter was eating her up. Eating her up. So, it was like, was in first class
Not
and
breaking news.
asked me if I was supposed to be here. Yes, duh. So I sat in my seat and put on 12 Years a Slave, immediately fast forwarding to all the traumatizing parts. When we got off, a white man handed me my bag or something like that. Like literally, that was the tweet. Low-key. All right, I'm pulling it up so I don't even paraphrase so y'all know. But
No, you're not paraphrasing because I did see this.
I feel like that's exactly what it was.
No, I did see this, but I'm trying to figure out. I kept not understanding it at the moment.
Girl, none of us do. I don't think she did, and I think that's why she removed it. Okay.
Not understanding it like shade, but I was like, huh.
Nah,
And then I kept seeing people
We just
retweeting.
don't look real quick.
Then I kept seeing people retweet it, and I was like, what y'all talking about? So I understand the original tweet,
Okay,
and I
here we go.
understand the following tweet. So clearly I was lost the whole
last to
time.
board my flight and started to put my bag up in first class. Someone asked if I was sitting there. Duh. Anywho, I turned on 12 Years a Slave, fast forward into Brutal Part. When we landed, a white man took down my bag without me asking and let others let me pass. You hear that collective silence after that? Because why, girl? Why? Why?
I'm wondering why play 12 Years a Slave.
Here's the thing. Either you really did this or you lied. Both of those are awful. This is the lie you came up with. But first, how many times have you watched 12 Years a Slave to fast forward to the Brutal, first of all?
First off, I couldn't tell you. I watched one.
I couldn't because I've never seen it. Also, I'm not watching it for a black person, let alone because some white person asked me if I belong in first class. That's going to show them?
Right. Like, you didn't want to do the Django Unchained where they started killing folks? I'm just trying to say, like,
if we going to do something, let's do something. Like, it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense.
I mean, and that's also like,
thank you.
Why is that the spectacle that you wanted?
Right. Like, what made you decide this was the story like you wanted to? And then I don't know.
You want to identify with that when the guy is already treating you like lesser than. For what?
And then why do you use a white woman gift for it? It just is weird. It's all just so weird. Y'all so wrong with that girl. She need therapy and prayer.
Wait, how did you find it if she pulled the tweet down?
Cause somebody screenshotted it and was like,
okay, no, you're gonna have to with this.
Sorry.
Here, I'm about to send it to you.
Mess your life up.
Bruh, the way Black Twitter was dragging her for filth, that's why she deleted it. They wasn't gonna let you live with that, and I'm glad. Right, maybe the interracial couple from Boy Meets World,
Angela,
I will say
they didn't let them be together, and Angela said they treated her terribly on that show.
I could believe that.
I can believe it. I won't say it was.
The name of the book I had in my head. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's called The Land by Mildred D. Taylor. It's a prequel to When Roll of Thunder Hear My Cry. So that's what it's called. Sorry. Also, I read I read a lot. Y'all know English. You got to decide by the rest of the sentence. Was it read or read? I also read a lot of Kimani True books as a teen, and they were written for Black teens about Black teens. It irritates me that so many of these TV show writers' idea of interrelationships are black and white, as if Black people can't and don't date other races that are non-white. That part, it don't make sense to me. True. Why couldn't we have a Black Cheaper by the dozen type movie? Right, because let y'all tell it. That's all we do is make babies.
Exactly.
Let y'all tell it.
Is it like, what's the truth? What's the truth?
You said you did not do the reading and must go to the Book of Revelations. Because I always forget about 227. Cynthia G is best. She's more woke than YA. Cynthia G. Okay, I have to look that up. Also, hello. I don't think I've seen you in here before. It's nice to see you. So glad you're in here. You need to watch 227, Jack Ye, Regina King, and Marla Gibbs. Oh, okay. I definitely gonna watch it. Example of white people in Black shows. Chelsea from That's So Raven. She was white and just happy to be there. No microaggressions or trying to teach her a lesson. Thank you. Love me some Chelsea. Chelsea never bothered me. I never felt no type of way about her being there.
Nope.
Most of the old Black shows are put on Tubi now. Okay.
Good to know. Duly noted.
Cynthia G will decolonize you from Dusty King worship mentality. Okay. In the house, reruns on Aspire sometimes. Okay, hanging with Mr. Cooper. I love the Steve Harvey show, but I won't lie, it was because of Cedric the Entertainer and Miss Alize Jenkins. It was because of them. I loved them.
Yeah.
That was the other movie that I was gonna mention. Johnson Family Vacation was a movie I watched over and over as a kid. I loved it.
I was never letting that go. It was hilarious.
I still want to Lincoln Navigator. I still want to Lincoln
Me
Abigail.
too. I
Like,
will never.
Johnson
And
Family Vacation.
Roscoe's Family Reunion.
Yes, I loved it.
Or Roscoe
I've
Jenkins.
never.
Roscoe Jenkins.
Yeah, welcome on Roscoe Jenkins, the mud seal
Yeah.
of this world. Yep, foundational like shit is right. Terry Crews, bruh. Yes,
He's
I saw
down
she dropped an author's planner. I can't wait to see it. A
For
recent
real.
OK show could be Family Reunion on Netflix or bigger, a group of black friends on BET Plus. I've heard good things about Family Reunion. I haven't watched it yet though.
I'm not loving the first season, but I've heard that it gets better after the next, and like seasons 2 and 3.
Wait, is this with Tia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard this show is good. I've heard it's good.
Yeah, I heard that it gets better even after like the first and second.
You know what
season.
I did like, and I hate that they canceled it. I liked Black Lightning.
I
The
haven't
first
watched
season
that. I'm
I
sorry.
liked it. I liked the first season. I haven't. Okay,
I know. And McLean was in it.
yeah, I haven't went back to it, but I liked it. Their black family. I love like that the parents are like not together, but there's still so much daggum love and protection and da-da-da. Like I love the conversations that it has, but I haven't finished it, so I don't know if it like gets worse or better. But I did like it.
Bina, that's my issue. They need to get her wig together. the daughter on Family Reunion.
That part. Okay, so the last Christina C. Jones I read, Relationship Goals, has been living rent free in my head and heart every day since I read it a month ago. I love it. Okay, Jingle Jangle, we ate that up.
Don't
we
forget
watched
Be
that
Love
like,
too.
We
I've been
watched
reading
it
stuff
like
from
4 or
Be
5
Love.
times in
I have
December.
very happy memories of that.
I love Jingle Jangle
and chocolate chip cookies that were this big hot off the oven. Absolutely.
Jingle Jangle was so good.
Y'all know I wasn't watching that, but I'm here for y'all in spirit.
Black Twitter took that. Also, Danielle Allen, Truth or Dare, and A Freaking Daydream. These books have me living. Okay, I have to check that out. How did the entire plane hear what she was watching? Girl, we had so many questions. So many. They're still using as
maybe he was sitting next to her.
And 2 angels held her arms and she floated down from the plane because the steps weren't there yet. I can't stand you. I can't.
Salter, I'm gonna need you to go to bed.
Right. I was like, am I bugging? Because at first people were praising her in the comments, most likely her friends on Twitter. Then yes, and then everyone else found it and was like, I was like, whoo, okay, I'm not tripping. I believe it. These authors made me not want to read their books, that part. How do you know exactly where the violent scenes are? Thank you. She's making light of white guilt as if it's not the result of something really serious. That part. Exhausting, right? I know it's 9:30, phone. Don't be telling me what I need to do. We about to get off of here. My alarm telling me it's close to bedtime. My Wife and Kids was a good show too. Yeah, my biggest gripe is that Claire was dark skinned the first season. Yes, Roscoe Jenkins is hilarious. Almost Christmas was good too. I wasn't a fan of Martin. I wasn't either because I didn't like how he did Pam, and Pam was dark skinned. But I love that Pam always threw for his neck. I love that she never stay off of him. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I don't like
Pam taught me how to roast.
All right, right.
Pam taught me how to roast.
Right, nice.
And then my cousin just recently taught me how to roast better.
Okay. The last season wasn't as good. Okay. Now she takes the wig off in later episodes. I love it. It was tragic. House of Pains. I think I saw it like the first year it came out, House of Pain, but I don't think I seen it.
I saw House of Pains, but it didn't do enough to get me to stay.
We need to go back to the hood and turn these women into wives and give the kids the stepdad they always needed. I mean, hey, you trying to play that stepdaddy role, go ahead. I like Black Lightning, just wish it had better production, that part. The wig is practically a character on its own. I hate y'all.
All the wigs in Tyler Perry movies, every wig in Tyler Perry movies was a paid actor.
You will walk away. I don't ever want to be the main character on Black Twitter ever in life. I don't ever want to do it. Because even if I'm right and they wrong, they gonna make me question myself. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Just behave.
Keith said, listen to women, protect women, obey women. All right now. The original Claire's parent pulled her from the show. They didn't like later plotline. I could see that. Shorty Smalls, Pam, that part. All right, y'all. I don't know. I wasn't sure. I just saw your private chat. I wasn't sure. I was like, I hate the wigs on Tyler Perry's sisters, and the men on that show are terrible. First of all, I just feel like
I don't know either. I just saw it. I wasn't really paying attention to.
We're all tired. It's time for us to go.
right.
But thank y'all for joining us tonight.
Right. We appreciated y'all. Oh, there was one more question. Oh, well, it don't need to be
It's
asked.
all right.
We're good. All right, y'all. So this has been episode 3 of When Black Women Speak. We talked about the shows that we love and their influence. We reminded y'all about some shows y'all haven't forgot. So y'all go look on your little streaming platforms and get you some Black love and Black joy that you've been missing.
Hold on.
What? Was you about to say something?
The last comment. And Sisters, I've been waiting to watch Sisters. The wigs is bad.
It's Tyler
He got
Perry.
too much money to be
That's what I'm
making.
saying.
I just feel like he got way too much money for y'all not to do better on the hair.
He
And also,
has
at this
too
point,
much
the actors
money.
he be getting are not trash. Y'all got too much money to be going out there like that. Do your own
Right.
hair.
He has
Y'all
too
got
much
money?
money to be making these wigs paid actors.
That part, it don't make no sense. And so the last thing I'm gonna leave y'all with before the night ends is this tweet that I think everybody should listen to, and I just want us to pay attention to this as we go out. The way y'all comp Get Out, but only use the insidious Wahite racism and not the amazing, powerful, beautiful dynamics of Black friendship that came to rescue my man, bruh. The whole time, the Black friend giving advice, the Black friend, you know you ain't supposed to be up there. Black friend, hey, what's going on? You was gonna call me, you ain't call me. Who show up in the end? The Black friend. All I'm saying is
It's always the Black friend,
it's
and
always
y'all
the
can
Black
collectively
friend.
take my
Y'all
card.
Y'all missed
Y'all-
that. Y'all got the racism, but y'all didn't get the good parts. I
Listen,
just need y'all to do better. I need y'all to do better. Do better.
It's always.
All right, that's the
It's
PSA.
always. But I
It's
will
always.
say, before we end, y'all can take my Black card because there was things I forgot about today, and I also did not see Out, or Get Out.
You didn't see Get Out? You haven't seen it?
Are you not a fan of horror?
Let me tell you, I lived in Ukraine, and that was horror for me as a Black person, and that's when it came out, and I said, "Fuck that."
You gotta
And
protect
I've never revisited. I said, "Ooh, I'm already struggling as a Black woman. I will not."
If you watched anything comp to it or read anything comp to it, I think you should watch it so you see how amazing it was.
Get Out
and
is
how
way
much of
better
a
than
good
anything that's
service
been to it.
these comps are doing.
What's been comp to it?
Everything.
Everything.
So
The
White
other Black
Smoke,
girl,
the Taking of
Destiny
Jake
Tomorrow,
Livingston, the other Black girl.
I've only read the Taken. I've only read the Taken, and I didn't know that was comped. So okay,
Yeah,
cool.
so
Makes sense.
almost every Black horror that comes out, Cherish Farrah, every Black horror that's come out is comped as that.
Yeah. Was it married what's
I said Ace of Spades.
Okay.
Yeah. So
a lot of stuff. Everything that they can call Stark. Alyssa Cole's When No One Is Watching, was that comp to Get Out too?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
I don't think.
I feel
Why do
was.
stuff have to be compared? That's one thing I don't get. Why can't this be it?
Was comp to it.
Why can't it just be it? Why stuff got to be compared to some shits?
I mean, comps can be helpful, but stop lying about it.
Right.
Not stop.
Legitimately, what happened? I didn't kick her out, I swear.
I think her thumb slipped.
Okay. I was like, I did not kick her out, I promise. We'll wait to see if she come back because I don't want to say bye and we not all on screen. But yeah, no, all of them was comp to Get Out, and it's just like, but nobody had like the closest one to that was the Taking of Jake Livingston because he got him a little Black boyfriend and he wrote it out with him, and I was happy for it. That was honestly the only one that had a good Black friendship.
Okay.
So
I was trying to read the comments and I actually left the live stream.
That's what Britt thought happened. So I was like, I'll wait till she get back. But yeah, okay, y'all see how I gave my little thing and we still here. All right, y'all. We will see y'all next time on Bree's channel. Stay tuned to our socials and our community so you know when the next one will be and whatnot.
I
And
forgot about that.
don't forget, we do got them little polls in our community tab. Y'all got more
Yeah.
ideas. Don't hesitate to drop them and let us know. All right, y'all.